world.
What's up?
Are we like live?
Live.
I hope so.
Live. Yeah. And you don't have to wear the headphones; they'll work if you.
But I think
just
I
throw them on the
just kind
side.
of look cool because it's
Yeah.
more like an operator look. Because for us to have credibility, we have to look apart. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Fair
right.
enough.
Josh, are you wearing actually a tactical response shirt? I just noticed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you like trying to provoke people here and like hurt the feels? And because there's gonna be some strokes happening after we start talking.
Yeah. On one hand, got to represent. On the other hand, I'm not a drill sergeant, so I don't have an expert opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
we're falling into the content of the day. Should we let everybody know what we plan to do with this channel, future live streams? I think
sure,
maybe
Louis.
give them a little
You
bit of
start
that.
without the accent, because if we start with the accent, it's not going
All
to
right.
go right.
So basically, we got together and decided we wanted to do a podcast / live stream / reaction video channel. A lot of the stuff we do out on the range and things like that doesn't get through the algorithm, but reaction videos are something that can become popular on YouTube. And so, as a way to try and open eyes and get out there to people who may not have experienced our styles of training, to try and cast that wide net, maybe help grow some ears out there in the world.
Definitely.
We're going to use this channel to try and do that. We're going to break down a lot of hand-to-hand stuff, right? Real world violent encounters, kind of like you might see on something like active self-protection or donut operator, but without a lot of the noisy commentary.
Yeah.
And maybe picking up on some things that they don't pick up on because of the training that they've done and their experiences in the past, kind of skew their vision in a certain direction, where obviously, like the name of the channel describes, we are students of violence. And it's funny, in all those videos, we'll call them out, active self-protection, right? Huge channel. In every one of those videos, I've tried to draw the line, like where downrange would be.
I'm going to grab the mouse for you so I can show you better.
versus uprange.
Yeah.
And I can't really distinguish the 180 when you're in the middle of the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
So we're going to have an interesting and unique take on that.
Did I just do something
It's
wrong?
the upper left, like the little person icon in the little window. So you can solo one of them.
Yeah, but if we take that one off the stage, then they lose the mic.
Oh, goodness gracious. We cannot take that then.
Yeah.
We cannot do that.
Yeah.
All right. Since Louis kind of mentioned the mic, guys, if you in the comments very quickly let us know if, I know we cannot make ourselves look good.
I see Adam Hall said turn the camera. Is that so it looks at Lewis when he's talking, or is there something else going on? Because that was a couple minutes ago.
What's on that screen and should be what they're seeing.
Right. I just don't know if they wanted you centered in the frame or crystal clear sound. So we're good.
So sound is good? Okay, that's good. So the sound is the most important because, again, we cannot make ourselves look good. With time, we'll work on that once we hire makeup artists and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to do anything with Josh, but, I mean, it is what it is. You always have to have an ugly one, right?
The nature of the business.
It looks like a few people have asked.
Camera is vertical.
Did you click on the wrong stream? I tried to do a thing on YouTube. It looks like Dean Conrad's watching the mobile version. I can't scroll up. Maybe we can see if Adam's on the wrong stream.
Yeah, he's on mobile.
Yeah.
So it's your fault, Adam. We take no blame.
Yeah. The YouTube's doing a thing where you can put it out there in both landscape and portrait at the same time. It creates two links, two streams. I guess we can just ditch that going forward in the future if it's a pain in the ass. I thought it would make it better for the people watching on phones, but
We're learning, guys. This is episode number 1. As I said, eventually when we become big and famous and we're going to start our own OnlyFans accounts and all that stuff, we're going to hire people to run the production and makeup artists. And I mean, Josh was massaging my feet before we started, because once they showed me the video that we're discussing today, I got really hot and bothered. And I mean, I was using very inappropriate language, and Josh goes like, dude, we can't do that. We cannot get banned on the first episode. So he was rubbing my feet. So eventually we're going to hire professional people to do that. But for now, you're just going to have to put up with few glitches here and there. Let's see what else as far as what we're going to do or we're not going to do. So yeah, as Lewis was saying, as far as, things that we will discuss in videos that we're going to try to dissect for you guys and kind of throw in our 2 cents. It's going to be, I guess we can break it down like that, right? We're going to be looking at the videos of actual violent encounters. And that may range from a drunken fight outside the bar, outside some kind of a pub, to very gnarly stuff from the trenches of war, to police encounters, to other things, and we'll dissect it. Now, this is, while we are sometimes sarcastic a-holes, so you may have moments of that. I don't think from the get-go we had a goal to become popular because of how funny we are.
No.
Like we said once we started this channel on YouTube, we are not beholden to system styles. We're not here to please anybody. We are beholden to one thing, that's our faith, and second thing is our viewers. And we believe that, what we're trying to do here is to give you a vantage point that is not tied to a business. This is why we didn't do this under my banner, under Elkar's banner. This is not tied to a business. We don't trying to push my way, although I will give you my opinion based on what I do. I'm sure Lewis and Josh will do the same. But our idea was to look at it as objectively as possible from 3 pairs of eyes with different and various backgrounds, and, help you to take a look at the material like that without being beholden by some kind of a preconceived notions based on what you like. We'll talk after we watch the first video that was chosen for today's dissection, about a little bit about our methodology of how we're going to dissect those things. But just to continue, guys, we're also going to dissect opinions of other people about things. Whether it would be training, whether it would be actual violence, whether it would be some other topics related to to the realm of violence, right? Some people tend to, and we're probably going to be in that category, to put out their name out there and go, so to speak, on the limb and express and be pretty opinionated. And by doing so, you kind of do open yourself to be dissected by others. So by all means, if any of you guys, when you're watching, and once eventually this gets shared with more folks and all that, if you want to take our video and dissect it and go like, look at these 3 fools, look what the BS they spew, by any means. We're not going to try to be, some kind of untouchables. We can't be. This is social media. This is, open environment, so to speak. Any of the guys that we may mention in our episodes, if they would like to have a live discussion, an episode, we more than welcome, we more than encourage you guys to contact us. I know we are small now. We just started this channel a couple of days ago. This will get big. Okay, so jump on early, because 3 months from now you're going to have to talk to our agents to even get in line, you know, to discuss things with us. It's kind of joke, but not.
Yeah.
We're also going to discuss certain things. Me and Lewis and Josh were talking about it. From competition realm, and it's not just referring to things like shooting. We're going to look at UFC. We're going to look at combat sports, where people go like, "Well, this is exactly how the street fights go," or "This has nothing to do with how the real fights go." So, as much as possible over time, we're going to try to give you a well-rounded, overview as far as how things apply, from training, from real events, from other people criticizing, dissecting things, and maybe give you some clues how to kind of set your own filters, how to look at things, what to look for, and maybe, just maybe, sometimes your deeply held opinions may change as you start shifting your vantage point, how to look at things.
Well, and I think earlier we were talking and you mentioned like the three things, um, you know, what you know,
Yeah, so,
right?
in
And like the Travis Haley thinkers, not shooters,
yeah,
right? So thinkers, not fighters, or however we want to think about this. Um, Trying to give a different way of looking at things. The internet is missing context just about 99.9% of the time. Like, you guys are going to see stuff that is missing total context. And before we just dismiss Voda, right? Maybe there's a grain in there or a way at looking at what he says that holds some value for us.
actually, at
Absolutely.
some point, I would like for us to take a look at some of, as ridiculous as it may sound to some of the viewers, I would like for us to take a look.
Yeah.
Not only at his material, but there are other things that have been ridiculed. Actually, some of those things are my things, right?
Yeah.
Or people that were my teachers,
Mm-hmm.
including the fat guy who's a bullshido master, God rest his soul, Mikhail Repko,
Yeah.
and all that. Again, people may think that I'm coming through to defend these people. Please believe me when I tell you, I have no need to defend people of caliber of Mikhail or many other folks, nor do I need to defend my own training. Those who want to, they'll come and find out. Those who have ears to listen to what we have to say and dissect material and look at it from numerous critical angles. I actually encourage my colleagues here to go like, well, but what if? Right? Even on
Right.
material that's, let's say, my material, or some of the people that we collectively respect or agree with or whatnot. And for you, our viewers, we would like to ask for your assistance in that sense. That you know, at some point in the future, we may actually disclose what we're going to be discussing in our live events prior to actually doing them. So maybe once we get to that point, if you have opportunity to look at the video or whatnot, and if you have questions, send them in. Send those questions in, and let us know what would be, your commentary, your take, and then we can have actually a productive discussion in that sense, to where, pretty much in a live format, to your comments, you can express your, and then through like, well, what if? We are okay to respond to that and have a discussion. Uh, and I believe I'm going to speak for all three of us. Any of the little trolls that jump in and start doing some kind of, guys, we are not even going to address you. You're not even going to get a middle finger from us or any reaction. So basically, you can go and fornicate yourself before you even start, because you're not getting a raise from us. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
Fellas,
All right.
anything else to add before we go into the meat of the matter, so to speak?
I think that's it. Guys, in the comment section, if you can help us sort out the people who are clicking onto the mobile stream, um, send them a link to the stream you're watching, or put that up, and keep it in the comments, a link to the stream where you can see all three of us. I think we're going to maybe stick more towards this one as we work out.
Because that's just such a triple dose of awesomeness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's right there. But the people on mobile, I think all they can see is
Josh in the middle. The ugly one.
Hey,
you chose that middle seat. You knew that, didn't you?
We can play musical chairs. It's fine.
You just got to be super entertaining.
Yeah,
and you have to move your mouth like you're a ventriloquist of when I'm talking. You just have to. And so people think that you just have two different voices.
Can you move your mouth where it looks like you have an accent?
Probably not.
Okay, that's a skill we're gonna have to work on.
All right.
So I guess without any further ado, right, we're gonna address and drop on the screen for you guys to enjoy this extremely scary and disturbing video. I really suggest if any of you need to take your Prozac now before you watch the video, because you just may have a massive coronary. It's truly horrible. It's scary. Some of you may lose your sleep for days to come. So we apologize ahead of time. And Lewis, hit it.
All right. And guys, let me know audio coming from this. I'm going to have to mute our mic for a second. Let me know all the audio from the video is getting to you guys all right and not super echoey. Just thumbs up in the chat if it goes well. Got it. And all right. So far so well. And then for you two guys here, we're gonna have to unmute this mic before we start talking about it. So like slap the table, or
I think we can just make an agreement that we're gonna let everybody who's on watch this for a few minutes, because this continues for a few minutes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to not jump off the table and start doing inappropriate hip movements and all that, but hit it, Lewis.
All right, catch your angle.
So I got to jump back in here because he says flagging for 500 or whatever dumb comment he posts up there.
Well, first of all, let's discuss who is he.
Yeah.
Without going into deep background and credentialism and all that stuff, what is his name on the social media?
So that's Jay Gibson of Praelectus Training.
Okay, so no, that's the guy who's doing the class, right?
Yeah.
But as far as commentary that our viewers see on the screen.
So this is a video from Trench Grenade.
Trench Grenade.
Yep. So this is Trent. Wait, why did it not?
I don't know, man.
What the heck's going on here?
I don't know, man.
Took it out of full screen.
Technical difficulties. Hang out. Don't leave. It's going to be worth it once we start speaking about it.
But I was only sharing the window. Damn it. Mostly Nick's fault.
Nick is not even here, dude.
I know, that's why.
He's feeding dogs, probably, now that the rain stopped for a minute.
There we go.
There it is.
So I was trying to show his channel.
That's fine. It's called Trench Grenade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll discuss later who this young gentleman is and all that stuff. But I just wanted to let you know this is a video of someone's dissection of a short segment from the class that was taught by Jay Gibson of Praelectus Training.
Yeah. From what it looks like from my perspective here is 5 seconds of what's most likely a 16-hour class with no context. Like
That's one, but I think we're gonna go slightly deeper and slightly more painful, and certainly without lubricants about it. So
Yeah. And here, so he's going to throw up, I'll take flagging for $5. So one, he's playing the cheapest game of Jeopardy ever known to man, right? Like the exact opposite of Burt Reynolds in that situation. But also, he claims because of the camera angle that there's flagging going on now, another shot actually breaks off after.
well,
this
actually, hold
comment
on,
is
Lewis.
made.
Before you even go to the next shot, right? We have our microphone on, right? Yeah, I see
Yeah.
the green
Yes.
lights flashing.
Yes.
All right, guys, you tell me, you viewers, as you are watching, what do you think? Because what I see, the guy with the backpack here, okay, I see the back of his head, and I see. Well, actually, I could see if he didn't have air protection, which would be another big red flag for $5. I could see his gun if his Air Pro was not on. So that lets me know, as someone who has been in few movies, TV shows, and filmed few videos and all that, that this camera is about, I would say, 5 to 6 degrees off what we would call camera left, behind the shooter. And if we're looking at the guy in the white shirt, I would say it's about 8 to 9 degrees camera right. Okay, so we're looking at probably certainly 10 plus degrees deviation, okay, between where the camera focus is. At this point, I'm looking at probably 4.5 to 5 feet distance between the two gentlemen. And if I was to adjust the camera directly, you're probably looking at about 2 feet as far as guns presentation
To the other guy's ear prop.
versus the head of the guy
Yeah.
who's in front of the gun.
Mhm. Yeah, fair.
Play
Alright,
it.
so let's see. So another shot goes off. So he couldn't have been flagging him.
All right, triangle. Good.
Oh. Did the audio just go shitty there for all you guys because I didn't mute the mic? Did it get super echoey, or can we get by doing that
without turning off our mic.
turning off our mic so we can talk on top of it?
Eventually, here we're going to get all the fancy gear with the soundboards
Yeah.
and video controllers and all that stuff. But
Once we get sponsored by Beats by Dre,
they said audio is fine.
Okay. So, and again, here we have no context. I don't know exactly what Jay is teaching them in this block.
Actually, let me make a comment about this comment here, which the trench grenade dude said. This is all footage the instructor posted to Flex online. I'm looking at this footage for one. I mean, I guess the flex would be whatever is under the barrel of that one carbine, right?
Or just the fact that their like muzzles are kind of close to each other, Sonny.
So that's like a flex?
That's a flex on like you just dangerous training. Yeah.
So for those watching,
because they're supposed to be what, like 6 feet off of the muzzle.
Is this like COVID-19 rules?
I think it's U.S. military rules, but they're supposed to be.
We're not exposing you as the trench grenades, like incredible resume and expertise levels. We'll get to that.
Right. No,
this is where it's going to get spicy.
Yeah, it's battle drill number 6. I think says from your line of fire has to be 3 feet beyond the end of their muzzle.
I'm going to make a very, very off-color joke now. That's probably going to piss off people. We're going to see about 15 of the viewers just disappear, right? I think if that is the case, if that is the U.S. Army doctrine and what the drill instructors that have trained thousands of people do, I read in a lot of media that supposedly a lot of Western instructors, NATO instructors, were training thousands upon thousands of Ukrainian soldiers. And now that explains why they're losing.
Yeah. So for you viewers, watching this.
Actually, it added viewers when I said that. That's
Right.
cool, man.
So you got the muzzles pointed at each other. For those who aren't aware, pictures are in 2 dimensions. So it looks like they're pointing at each other, but in real life, the one that we're in right now, they're actually not. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Plus, Adam's way shorter than Jeremy, so like.
Right.
Oh wait, that's Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I know these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, it was a good flex by Jay, for sure. For sure. Let us continue.
And look, see, Sam says his platoon was taught 15 degrees, your muzzle to be 15 degrees off of their muzzle.
So did they have like some kind of like a laser thing on their rifles to go like beep 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 beep?
I think
Once it gets close to 15, like you know, like on the modern cars, where like it's too close to the car in front of you.
I think they probably just make you pull. Well, for Sam, for sure, in the Marines, you just have to pull a protractor out of your ass. I know the Marines do.
Watch, you're gonna get some Marines jumping in on here. Wow, man, that's a flex. That is incredibly dangerous. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Goodness gracious. Okay, can you pause here for a second? Back to that comment that he said. Training, and then the next one was something about transition.
That's not how we.
That's not how we transition to secondary. Sure, I mean, to his credit, he was respectful, right? So, I would want in person to ask the grenade dude, who is we?
3 gunners, maybe.
And then, you know, before you make a statement, because a statement like this is not how we transition to secondary. You're not giving me anything to go on. This is not an argument statement. This is just a statement. This is like a label. You're a Nazi because I don't like something you said. You're a fag because I don't like something you said. You're a nationalist because you are, you know, I don't know. You're a militant, you're a terrorist, you are whatever you want to call. So for Trench Grenade, with all his experience and credentialism of incredible flex.
Of going from rifle to pistol.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say, sir, as an old man, I would suggest to you with probably more years in doing this than you have lived, sir, if you want to talk about credentialism. You may want to learn a little bit about substantiating your statements and actually putting something behind your statement that is that has substance.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, instead of going like, this steak does not look good. That's a very subjective statement, sir. And when we say we, I understand from the video you don't want to say we as in USA Army, because you're not authorized to speak for USA Army. But when you say we, you're including certain group of people. So please elaborate who is we. Or have you gotten to that point in your life where you call yourself we?
Yeah. And if you are watching this, when he says elaborate, he means explain more. I know that's kind of a big word, maybe for the grenade himself.
Right.
He might not know what elaborate means.
Extrapolate. Expeditiously.
Yes.
And I don't see anything wrong with it. His gun went dry, his pistol came out.
So what you're going to want to do is hold the gun down here for literally no reason and make it malfunction. And what it malfunctions...
So now this is him dubbing for Jay. Like, so can you guys hear that if I start talking over that? I mean, we probably shouldn't try to, but...
Jab upwards.
Jab upwards. Jab upwards.
So super emphasis on that.
Can you stop that for a second, please? So again, from someone who's been in few movies and worked on video games and has seen the post production work and all that, Mr. Grenade, stay in the army because your audio editing and audio production skills absolutely blow. Actually, I would go as far as to say suck and blow at the same time. If that sounds like ad hominem, I'll tell you what, dude. When you start doing this, you're not doing this for any other reason than to make fun, make it look stupid, and you're trying to emphasize just how stupid you think this is. So when you open yourself into that page, you may want to perk up your ears because you're going to hear some stuff coming from this table.
Right. And I think, so this is where the things you know versus the things you don't know. And like, to him, he has no idea or no context where something like this could be useful. You guys want to give off like one or two reasons you might want
Go
to
ahead,
do
Josh.
something like this?
So when you're not on the flat range, there's no beeps and stuff. Sometimes people get really close. And if you get too close with a semi-automatic pistol like the Glock that Jay's got, if it goes out of battery, you got to do something to keep it in a condition that it can fire. And what I assume Jay is showing here is clamping the fingers around the barrel, keeping it in battery. Yes, that does induce a malfunction, but you shoot the bad guy at one time. Because that guy's not just going to let that happen. Then afterwards, the part that he's really trying to make fun of is you jab upwards. I personally haven't experienced it, but I think getting punched in the face with a Glock by Jay is probably not very pleasant.
I mean, we can always offer like a paid experiences,
force on force. Absolutely.
No, just no. Come on, man. That's pushing too far into the whole force on force thing. But I think just that one particular experience of someone coming in and going like, I don't think this would be effective.
Right.
So I believe we can show blue guns on live stream. So YouTube reviewer, YouTube algorithm. I'm about to produce a piece of plastic that is gun.
Do you have like a drill? Like a DeWalt drill or something?
I do. I got a Milwaukee. Yeah.
Oh, Milwaukee, damn.
Yeah, let me do that.
Talk about flex. Yeah, bring that. Because with YouTube, I don't know, man.
So while Lewis is grabbing that, so when you punch somebody in the face with a Glock, that might give you the time it takes to perform your tap and rack, which is not the same standing still on the flat range. So there's a difference there. So you're going to have to buy yourself some time to get that in the condition that you can shoot him again. So I don't really see the problem here. Like ideally, like you wouldn't, cause a malfunction because he says that there's no reason to ever do this. I would say that that's wrong. I think we're trying to explain a principle to someone who's never even thought about it. So I think we're on a little behind the eight ball on the explanation.
Can you put us on the screen now? That way people can see it. Just keep that in there.
See, I got multiple monitors. Don't even know which.
I know. So YouTube, this is a Milwaukee battery powered, probably 18 volt.
It's not even loaded.
Yeah. It's not even loaded. There is no battery. Everybody take a look at it. There's nothing in the barrel here. Let me fucking open it for you. You see that? Nothing there. Safe. All right. And it's on safety is on 2. Right? That way people 1,000 miles away cannot say that I'm pointing my gun at Josh and this is totally violating safety rules according to U.S. Army standards. Right? So what things can go wrong, right? If someone like Josh, because of my stupidity or his competence or luck or combination of thereof, as I'm rounding that corner being super tactical, army ninja and all that stuff, and Josh just rushes me and tackles me and basically falls on top of me, right? With all of his 200 plus pounds, anger, rage, hatred of Russians and Orthodox and just add whatever you want to add, right?
The genuine
and Josh's body kind of presses the slide of my G-lock, and it just by this much takes it out of battery. And I try to press that trigger, and it doesn't do nothing. It's dead.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I can obviously, because I bench press about 672.35 pounds for 2.6 reps, I can definitely just lift Josh actually with one hand. That way I create that space and remove the slack, his fat depressing that slide bag that took it out of battery, and then just pump him full of love, right?
And don't worry, he's probably not trying to put his hands on your gun.
Or
either.
sink his knife into my
Yeah.
throat, or
No.
many other things that can happen, right? So to me, as his body is on top of me, and if I grab my slide and I drive it forward to keep it in battery as I press the trigger, I submit to you that starts that drill spinning, if you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Josh feels slightly more uncomfortable and possibly even less functional at that point. That may give me time to put my elbow somewhere in there and then rack the slide, ejecting the empty shell that has not been ejected due to me holding the slide forward, thus chambering the next round so I can keep working in case I have to resolve that issue any further. Now, sometimes because Josh is so big and strong and I'm so weak and everything, I may not be able to push him away from me. So I submit to you, me driving this across his body, up his jaw, will probably create a little room for me to be able to rock that slide and continue working from there. We would like to hear your opinions in the comments, guys, if this is stupid.
Well, and another one. So if Jay were in a more traditional two-handed retention position, right? Something kind of like this, right? Josh, go ahead, take that gun. Like me? Or just go ahead, try and what if you were to tip it towards my face? Ha! Like that sucks. Now he can't even get a hand on it, right? So if he went with a martial arts standard of 2-1, right? Now, like what's my likelihood of holding on to that gun versus me covering the whole fucking thing up and him having nowhere to grab on it? So few reasons why you might want to do this. What was so stupid, it had to be slowed down.
But this is
and dubbed over, because we wouldn't want to hear what the
What
actual
Jay had to say.
instructor was talking about, because that might make it sound like it makes sense. So he was out for blood with this cut, and I mean that makes it hard to be nice to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we are being nice. We haven't called him a single name yet.
Yeah. So another point, since we're going to get to his actual opinion saying that, Jay's dangerous and this is unsafe. For those who don't know, there's a guy named Daryl Bulkey. He was like a 30-year LA SWAT ninja guy, and he does a lot of revolver stuff that I watch. He advocates punching people in the face with a revolver as you shoot them. Like that's the thing that he's demonstrated on a paper target, in one of his videos.
What does he say? I can't miss if my gun's in what I'm trying to hit.
So that's so you that's your highest level of confirmation is physically pressing the muzzle onto whatever. So is that guy stupid? I know he's not a drill instructor, so maybe, but I just are we being intellectually honest here or not?
Well, see, to be intellectually honest, you have to possess intellect.
That's fair.
So,
well, last point before we go on. So playing devil's advocate, maybe what Trench is saying is that instead of a Glock, you should carry a revolver so you don't have to worry about being out of battery.
I would like to discuss that, preferably on the range.
Yeah.
Not over the Instagram or YouTube. But hey, we'll go with whatever.
Right.
Where are we here? Are we this one? Yeah, that'll work.
Do we have anything good in the comments before we go any further? Any questions? Any
The
observations?
Malky does have a switch, but it has been unloaded and shown clear.
Dylan Manzel wants to know, yeah, but what are the splits of your muzzle strikes?
I mean, Dylan, if you want to see the splits, you would have to bring mirror to look at your own face because it will be split. You're going to look like the characters in freaking what's that thing, South Park, where Canadians have split faces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dylan, I'm not being violent or threatening. You're probably a cool guy, and I probably like you.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, mistake Jay made was not using a shot timer, clearly.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Then someone said, I imagine Trench Grenade is sitting on a beanbag in someone's basement right now. Possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not big enough. We only have, very few followers since this is our first video. So we're not big enough to match his 50,000 or whatever he has, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of jumping high. We are kind of like a garage band from Jacksonville, Texas, criticizing freaking Iron Maiden or Slayer or something like that.
More like Britney Spears.
More like Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah.
Right.
But you know what? Give us a year and we're going to be equivalent of two.
Yeah.
Then we shall talk.
All right. So that's about all we got. The comments, guys. Uncle Guns, thanks for coming over here and checking us out. He said he's going to need to watch it back with a notebook. Now let's see if I can get that is on the screen. The mouse is now on that monitor. And there's a play button.
There you go. Beautiful. We're going to shut up now. Keep watching.
Jab upwards. Jab upwards.
Shot. Gun didn't work. Got off the X. Changed directions.
I'm going to relay this to you real quick, hopefully. I'm going to explain to this young man about this exercise that we're about to accomplish. And
how's the audio?
Yes, it's the one where you walk around the barrels and the two people are shooting the guns, and at some point somebody's going to cross in front, and you gotta move your gun.
So wait, he said
Sam said echo.
Okay.
Okay, we'll try not to talk while
I'll
we're
bring
going to
it
try
back
to turn off the microphone
while Jay talks. Those of you who know Jay will love this. Yeah.
I'm going to relay this to you real quick, hopefully. I'm going to explain to this young man about this exercise that we're about to accomplish. And yes, it's the one where you walk around the barrels and the two people are shooting the guns, and at some point somebody's going to cross in front, and you got to move your gun away, and you got to take your finger off the trigger and not shoot. Only shoot the things you plan on shooting. Only touch the trigger with. All those rules on that piece of paper that you sign. And before you're like, well, I'll sign this thing, but really nobody expects me to do this stuff because I like that one dude, with the crazy camouflage hat and the weird sunglasses. He'll be here to stop me before I do it. And it's like, no, I won't. And anyway, so I got to sign this piece of paper in an effort to get another piece of paper at the end of this thing certifying me to do God knows what. And like that's why I don't give out certificates, dude. And but anyway, guy says, when am I going to apply this?
There are things to discuss here.
Okay, so this is like halfway through the Jay audio part of this. So one of the things I wanted to kind of touch on, so he's like, oh, he won't even RSO his own course. Well, all these, like, Jay is either in the frame or he's filming. So this is a disconnect between, like, what this dude is imagining when he made this video. When Jay refers to the dude with the camo hat or whatever, it's the same when it's like the dude with the red vest. He's talking about, like, if you train like someone else is going to pick up on your mistakes, like that's the problem. He's not saying he himself is the crazy dude in the camo hat. So he does RSO his own courses and he's demonstrating what's going on. So like that disconnect there is like, oh, he's so unsafe he won't even RSO his own course. Like, no, fucking retard.
What about the disconnect on the why?
Oh, you mean like the
Because
guy
Jay
walks
says-
in front of you?
Jay says they're going to walk around some barrels and there's going to be some stuff you don't want to shoot, and then there's a thing.
Oh, I saw
to
him make a
shoot.
comment. He goes like, "That's really good training, walking around barrels.
Yeah,
It's
Like,
better training
why?
than standing still like a dry dick. I tell you that much.
yeah.
I
Like
can tell you a lot more, but that's later.
like as you're in the mall, the parking lot, the movie theater, the name the venue where you don't need to walk around it.
Right.
I mean, I don't
And-
know, Liz. Can you put us back on the screen because I
Yeah.
love watching that beautiful lady.
Yeah.
And by the way, to Trench Grenade and everyone else watching, the way that young lady, whatever her name was, I don't know, it's probably some actress, some celebrity, right? The way she was looking at the camera, it's the way she would probably look at Jay when Jay speaks. Like she wants to make sweet love to him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's like, this is the man talking.
So he was trying to take a clip where in this interview she kind of had the eyes like, what are you talking about? I don't care.
No, actually,
But-
her eyes, and
but
he took
she's-
very wrong still
yeah,
shot because
yeah.
her eyes telling her, take me to bed and make love to me all night long.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
I've got it. I know why he's mad. Jay
Why?
fucked his mom.
It could be. Who
Like-
knows?
Jay, chime
Damn.
in. Jay, chime in.
Ow.
Do you know Steven's mom?
Jay, are you watching? Put a thumbs up if you bang Steven's mom. Now, don't claim you did if you didn't, because that would be stolen coochie valor.
Coochie valor.
And
Because we haven't gotten yet to competition valor.
You never want to steal coochie valor.
Right. So, but anyway, I'm looking at this and the question like, oh, that's really good training walking around the barrels. If you look at arrangement here where me, Josh, and Lewis is, right? If that door on the side of the Lewis there got suddenly kicked in or whatnot, I submit to you, because I'm sitting in a chair, it would be hard for me to walk here. Okay. But me leaning back and probably taking some kind of angle, believe it or not, around a person. I mean, I know this sounds so fucking ridiculous and retarded. You know what I mean? Because I would have to go like, Josh, get behind me. Lewis, you too.
Establish the firing line.
Establish the
Yeah.
firing line. Look right, look left. We good? And then I go
Press check.
Press check. Acquire sight picture alignment, and only then place the finger on the trigger, because talking about those rules, right? So your question, grenade dude, as far as why would you present your gun while people potentially can be walking in front of you?
Well, and it's not even people. He's talking about barrels. Okay, like
Well-
you're in the food court. Some guy starts blasting people. There's tables and chairs and people and trash cans and pillars and shit. Like you're gonna have to maneuver around that shit. Like that'd be the same if you had two barrels on top of each other. You can't go
See,
full extension
you
and
bring
hit
it-
stuff.
You're
Like,
bringing it tactical issues into what is clearly a shooting problem.
yes.
Well, I mean, and he wants to know, because what is the application to CQB? Like, well, first of all, there is application to CQB. Second of all, there's a difference between tactics and skills. Like something,
Oh, wait.
something could be worked on
Don't you say so.
as a skill to be used within a tactic.
So what you're saying,
Like shooting on the move is
so
a
what you're saying, you
skill.
can actually work on suspension separately to make it like work properly before you put it in the car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I would go about it. I'd be like, hey, what kind of race is this? Is it off-road? Maybe we should change the suspension for it. But
Dude, I'm
if
gonna be
he's like,
sleepless.
if he's like, no, this is a race car,
I'm gonna be
like,
sleepless in
he's not going to
Jacksonville.
do well in the off-road race.
we have any comments? Any people got upset yet about what we said?
They're getting Jay, trying to see if he'll come on.
Come on, Jay.
We need answers, Jay.
Andrew Combat Art Training says no one yelled hot range.
Straight to jail.
Well,
in
actually,
food court instead of chow hall. Well, in the chow hall, nobody has a loaded gun on them, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Because there's a clearing barrel where they all dump rounds in before they go eat.
Oh shit! Is that? Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sound unpatriotic if I say what I have to say. So,
yeah, and Dylan says Jay's not using the orange see-through competition walls, so it's not real training.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you got me there.
All right. Oh shit! Now we're in the corner.
Yeah,
I'm getting crazy here.
You're getting really crazy, man. Mute the mic. We're playing.
Oh shit! Here we go. Wait, what if I do this? Is there still an echo if I do this, guys? I'm gonna take us off the stage. Right? Or no?
No, don't do that.
No.
Just mute the mic, dude.
Yeah, just mute them.
You know, and I said in about a minute and a half, when I get done demonstrating it and get done jibber jabbering. And then he says, no. When am I going to demonstrate it in the real world? What world is this one? Which one are you in right now?
If you've ever created a training group so you could
So I think Jay probably took a dramatic pause there because it was ripped from a video.
Well, anyone who knows
he probably
Jay,
looked around and was like,
Right.
"What world are we in?"
Anyone who ever interacted with Jay, you know that you ask Jay a question or you say something, or we took a couple of my classes, you know, where I would say something and Jay would have. For Jay, it's not dramatic pause. It's more like, are you fucking serious? You know, like which world you're in right now? You know, I mean, when you commenting about something, are you into some kind of a La La Land? Are you some kind of a fucking, I don't know, Jap anime thing?
Well,
I don't know.
That's the thing. That question from that student or whoever Jay was talking to, I'm sure it was a student who did understand and got further explanation from Jay through the course of the class. However, when Trench calls it, that's a good question from a student, to be honest. Like, where does this technique fit in my Rolodex of techniques for CQB? Like, that's what I'm getting out of the question that he's asking.
See,
to Jay, he's working on a general skill of like, hey, we're going to put bullets in the things that need bullets in them and not in the things that
don't need bullets in them.
Yeah, imagine that. Just don't shoot somebody instead of the paper.
Yeah, you know, like one of those rules that you said that Jay is neglecting, like be aware what's in front and what's beyond your target. I believe it's one of the 4 rules.
Yeah,
right?
well, he said that he was, gaslighting about the rules and that, I needed to sign a piece of paper in order to get another piece of paper. And like, what does that certify you in? And that's part of the crux of the problem here is later in this video, which we'll get to, this dude is so intent on the piece of paper he has. Like, you take a class with Jay or Sonny or anybody, you're going to get, you want a piece of paper to certify you to do what? It just says that you were there or that you got a certain score, like, oh, I got 23 out of 40 shots in the Army marksmanship program, so I passed. What does that certify you to do other than you did something one time on that one day?
It's kind of like saying, I stood at the foul line on the basketball court, right? And I sunk 8 out of 10 free throw shots. And I'm sorry, but your paper will not state that you are officially a member of LA Lakers.
Yeah.
and able to play in NBA Finals.
Yeah.
It says that you score 80% from free line throw. That does not make you even LeBron James or LeBron.
Yeah.
Should I say it correctly?
Yeah. And then, so Catass has a good comment here. Eli Dickens was a hero to everybody. What's the difference between what he did and what Jay is? And the rest train?
Okay, well,
Yeah, so
we
like
get the gist
people
what he's
moving
saying.
around, people moving around the mall. Like there were people that didn't need to be shot who didn't get shot by Eli Dickens, right? And he had to move a little bit, walk around some stuff. So maybe there is application for
I mean, I
these
don't know.
skills.
You can we can certainly pull up few hundred videos from training and or real life of, if you're looking to your sides or in the general direction where you're anticipating threat or a bad guy or whatnot, there are things that appear like people running. I don't know, like a kid runs out of the, actually someone who's been shot. We don't know yet if he's dead, but he's laying there on the ground, right? So at that point, what should I do?
Bill Joe.
I mean, I would love to have a discussion with Trench, whatever his name is,
Grenadine.
Grenadine.
Yeah.
So, combat art training, it says there are some people in the comments who actually thought this drill was a tactic. And I think that comes partially because the people that are drawn to that sort of crowd, like if you start with a jailbait ASVAB, like that's the crowd that you're going to draw. So you're going to get a bunch of mongoloid motherfuckers like that are like, oh, look at this fucking retard. Like,
yeah. Meanwhile, you could set up a USPSA stage and call it like the daughter rescue and have like 3 bad dudes in the room and like the one hostage target, and perfectly okay when a competition shooter tries to teach people the tactic of maximum exposure, planted feet, and then just mow the targets down like 1, 2, 3.
see your
rather
sights.
rather than
it's a split
limiting
times, dude.
right, because all that matters is split times, and they'll accept that as a tactic for that situation, even though it would most likely get the daughter and themselves killed.
I would like for them to come to 5 Force and Force.
Yeah.
Love it.
Gun gamers touting their scores. Some kids that cheered in class when the teacher gave a pop quiz. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay to point a gun at a no shoot. It's not okay to not point your gun at a person in a class. Make it make sense. Yeah. It doesn't. None of it makes sense, man. What did you say?
It says Trench was infantry and jumped out of airplanes. Got to have a room temperature IQ to choose airborne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just stuck on base while everybody else was going out and getting laid, and there was another patch that he could earn. So he collected it, like his fire starting badge and his.
And
What else do the Girl Scouts get? Like knot tying. He's like, I am a certified triple knot tyer.
Right. All right. Should we like? Is there any other commentary that
Yeah.
Grenade makes there that is worth our attention?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
It's just it's a smorgasbord.
By the way, guys, for me, this is like my really first reaction, because they showed me a couple of minutes of that, and that's when I went and asked Josh here to rub my feet, because I was ready to start breaking shit and all that. So he rubbed my feet, like calm down.
Yeah. Sonny had to go out for like 3 cigarettes just to get through 5 minutes of this.
Construct nonsense, weapons.
Mike, here we go.
Manipulation, unsafe and generally stupid tactics, all while potentially risking the lives of your students in the process. Then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. Today we're going to be discussing Tactical Response, and more specifically a senior instructor over at Tactical Response whose name will remain nameless, that has recently created their own spin-off training group and is teaching the exact same curriculum as Tactical Response. Now, a couple of general rules of thumb for my audience.
Yeah, there you go. Let's make a few comments, all right? The instructor does not have to remain nameless.
Yeah, Jay Gibson, Praelectus Training.
Yes, let's give actually find Praelectus Training, follow, sign up, and go train with Jay Gibson.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Jay Gibson. So I met Jay Gibson after I met James Yeager. And James, early on in our friendship and our connection and all that stuff, told me his story about how he went as a contractor to Iraq and how basically Jay took him under his wing. And James was very open with me in saying that, I was like, yeah, dude, Jay is like, and that's the first time I heard like Jay's actual background, and I was like, all right, this is not a spring chicken for damn sure. And then I met Jay in person. He attended my class, not one and not two, more than that. So I got to see Jay not only the way he teaches and spend time talking about material and issues and all that stuff. I got to see Jay as a student. And I tell you what, if we're going to talk credentialism, and this is where we're going to bring Mr. Trench Grenade's credentialism, because he's going to be talking about thousands of people that he trained and all that stuff. Trench Grenade. Actually, you know what? Let me be a little bit less sensitive. Listen, kid, if we were compare your credentials with Jay's credentials, kid, you have so much grass to piss on before you even step onto the same lawn, before you can even approach comprehending what is Jay's background, what are his accolades, what he has written, whom has he trained, and what skills, knowledge, and not only knowledge, understanding of what goes on in CQB environment he has in comparing to yours, kid.
Yeah, Jay may have written the manual of what you're shit talking, except it was probably too short, so they added stuff to it. So, like, if you've never heard of the SOTG, look it up. Like, the Marine Corps paid Jay to teach the special operators how to do CQB. So, like, he's going to get into how he's the expert here and he's the master marksman or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get to that. No.
Well, first, before we even get there, like, Trench, see what you're doing. Can't hate you for trying to gain followers and make a career after your career out of this, but careful how you're doing it, okay? You're going after Tactical Response. You have a huge logo of theirs in your thumbnail, okay? It's in the title of your video. None of the footage came from a Tactical Response class. While there are similar drills in some of the advanced classes of Tactical Response, none of the drills as outlined or as displayed are directly from Tactical Response curriculum. So you've never taken a Tactical Response class. You've never taken a Praelectus class from Jay. So for you to say that Jay, a senior instructor from Tactical Response, is teaching their same curriculum, and this is what it looks like, you are defaming another company, Tactical Response, by speaking ill of them, as well as another instructor who you literally couldn't even shine the boots of. So, like, be very careful with that shit, man. There are people who care about James's legacy, like myself, and what Tactical Response still is and what it has been. And you're trying to say that there are things that are happening now that would not have happened if James were still alive, or weren't happening back then. Go look at VSO gun channels breakdown or American gun chicks breakdown of like the advanced classes at Tactical Response. There's some footage out there on the internet. Look at Jordan Winkler's channel, where he has some of the drills from Advanced Tactical Response. James Yeager himself taught me how to run drills like that. So you trying to throw your hat in the ring or try and start beef above you to try and bring you up, dude, it can backfire on you, and it can backfire on you hard, because you're talking about a dude that a lot of dudes,
And I mean dudes.
like fucking close, you want to talk close quarters battle, like an elevator in Vegas is pretty close quarters, and you don't want to be in there with fucking Jay. I know that, like
Right.
so be careful at how you target and attack others to try and promote yourself.
Yeah.
You'll end up like Ja Rule.
Yeah. It's just on the face of it, it's just intellectually dishonest. You don't want to name Jay or Prey Lectus, but you want to name Tactical Response. This didn't take place in Camden at their range. It didn't take place under their banner. Like, you're just using it to get clout. And then, like, what's your goal here? To denigrate Tactical Response? Like,
Well, I'm going to add something else to it. You know, when Lewis said be careful, I'm going to tell you one other, dimension of why you want to be careful. Be careful what kind of followers you gain. You know, I've been told many, many times to put out the videos without the context out there because it becomes scandalous, right? And scandalous videos without any context or whatnot, because if I say something like I said in the previous class, right, don't bring the gun into a knife fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could have just said that and left it, right? Could it become scandalous? Yes. What kind of douchebags I'm bringing into my orbit by putting a statement like that?
Bunch of
Without
knife weirdos.
A bunch of idiots that don't even forget about room temperature. I'm talking lukewarm water. Their IQ doesn't even reach there. Do I want these people to discuss, steal my time, take my breath away or whatnot? No. I want someone who's into triple digits, not just IQ, but general intelligence. We can have productive exchange. So, Trench Grenade Dude, if you want a Somali IQ as your followers, dude, go for it. But you're going to waste so much time, and you're probably going to have a lot of claps and a lot of followers and all that. If that's what you follow, dude, we have nothing to say. We're going to forget about you, that you exist, because you really don't, not in our world. And so be it. But if you're really trying to, for your future career after you leave U.S. Army or whatnot, establish some kind of a legit following of dudes that want legit training, where they want to be pressed when they want to see what is the reality of violence, be careful, dude, because you're going to attract a lot of idiots that, for one, they're not going to pay your bills, they're not going to show up in training, but they're going to keep you very, very busy with stupidity on the internet.
yeah. And then addressing some of the comments before we play this again, so I had to scroll back a little bit. Adam Hall says, it's just the Sydney Sweeney pick. Yeah, this is that dude's video. So there was like 2 minutes of Jay, and most of that is audio. Just Jay talking over that picture, and then 2 small clips from class. His whole video is just a picture.
Do you think he's jacking off to Sydney Sweeney's picture?
He might be. He's probably in uniform and doesn't want to put himself on camera saying stuff.
I think he's trying to capitalize on right now that meme is so hot, where Sydney Sweeney.
It's the funny. It's the funny thing.
Me? Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I don't know nothing about it. I'm so behind.
Yeah. And then just going through a couple more of these is just like, credentials don't make yourself. So that's what we're about to get into, is just he's talking about tons of his credentials and stupid shit that really, really doesn't matter. Like, it's just
and
weird.
then
So let's see.
Guys,
And-
by the way, we don't have any scrolling things on our screen or whatnot, but hit like, hit subscribe, share it.
Yeah.
This is relatively soft. We're going to go harder. There are going to be things that will make some airs change colors on this channel. So share the love.
And then
there you go. That's beautiful, man.
Dylan Mansell said that there's a bunch of reputable instructors that do downrange drills. We've got a clip of the snake drill from Ken Hackathorn. Ken Hackathorn's been doing this shit for, like, he's retired now. Like, he's still doing stuff, but he's been doing this for over 50 years. And then he invented competition shit, and then you guys made it gay, and you want to criticize, downrange drill. So the snake drill, if you aren't familiar, people are walking in front of each other and nobody gets shot. And
how many times you've seen the videos of dozens of tactical companies where 3 or 4 guys, oh, we just froze. Something.
No,
oh, okay.
No, he's doing
where
it.
3 or 4 guys are in front of each, in one line, right? One guy moves towards the range as towards the target as he's firing. He quickly turns, raises his gun, lowers his gun. Next guy, as soon as this guy moves out of the way, lowers his gun, raises his gun, and starts firing, right?
Yeah.
And they continue moving towards the target or away from the target.
Yeah.
What is the difference?
Right. And so then, like, are we arguing like the semantics of what is acceptable? Because then it becomes, okay, well, downrange, like, is it in front of the firing line? Is it next to the target? So nobody was shooting apples off each other's heads in that video. So just throwing that out there. But anything past the 180, like, okay, well, there's so many companies that do that shit. Like, I've taken war poet classes, and they're pretty mild as far as like the bending the rules, but they do that.
John Lowell?
Yeah. So like they're doing stuff like realistically, like they're not going past each other, at least in the 4 classes that I took. But there's people like shooting here and shooting here, like in 3 dimensions. Like one is like however many degrees off. So is that okay? Is that not okay? Another good class, ECQC with Craig Douglas. You shoot past Craig. Is Craig a fucking retard?
What do you mean? We're shooting past people in the CQC and
yeah. And that's doing the live fire.
Yeah, that's how my truck got shot, but thankfully not with the real round. It was
there's the live fire portion. You shoot past Craig, and then in the force on force portion, you're obviously shooting each other. So like that gets rolled into it too. So like at what point, like, so Lewis is going to fill in at least two more videos.
So I'm going to just throw in something here, drill that I ran with a dude some of you might know. Some people might call him a credible instructor. Some people may call this guy a credible instructor.
Yeah, if you
mute our mic before you play it, probably.
Yeah, or I'll just turn the volume down on this one.
Yeah,
because the audio doesn't really matter.
For those who don't know, like genuine cool guy Army shit. Like if you see in the background Super Dave Harrington. Like,
so this guy right here, that's Super Dave Harrington.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
So we've got a cameraman downrange and Super Dave downrange, while 2 guys
with live firearms,
live guns, moving past each other,
and nobody shot each other. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And then later, so I was in that same class, and then there's one, like, not giving away all Super Dave stuff, but since he's passed, like, some of this stuff, like, you're going in a pattern that's, like, kind of like a delta, like the top half of a triangle, and people are moving in and out, and then you're going up, and then down, and then back, and then there's, like, the whole class. So there's 20 people doing it all at once. You just don't shoot each other. That's the whole point.
You mean like you become competent without engaging mechanical safety? Like you're actually responsible for your actions?
Yeah. And then that dude ran the Range 37, 2 sections of his career in Army Special Forces. So he was training these dudes like at like the operator ninja level, and it wasn't a problem then.
Now, I'm going to introduce something really quickly here, because I made that comment. You're actually responsible. Considering, that I'm sure at some point when this gets shared and gets to certain people, we will have comments. The guy who shot somebody actually in training talks about being responsible. Yeah, I actually have that experience. If you want to discuss that, let me know. I'm just gonna stick with that for right now.
Yeah.
Do the mics.
Mic is live. Okay, we'll cut the mic. Go back to
Back to video.
Back to the video here.
You gotta mute it.
If you're looking for a reputable, relevant trainer in the space of firearms and tactics training, are as follows. If your favorite primary instructor has to delete comments on their own private social media page and on the training group or academy social media page to prevent the truth from their curriculum from rising to the surface, or generally unsafe acts, then that is probably a major red flag for you that you should avoid, run away quickly. Another thing that you should avoid are war stories instructors. These guys will stand up and tell you every war story that you've ever heard from any theater that's ever existed in the world, even your local movie theater, but will not be able to tell you how any skill or task that you're trying to accomplish is actually applicable in the real world, other than maybe this happened in a gunfight one time, now listen to this story or watch this drag, etc. Okay. Last but not least, and this is where I kind of come into the fold. Don't film anything from this point of the class on, and don't post it on social media, because the liberal tiers and the gun community just can't handle how edgy our training group, academy, or our curriculum is. That is a red flag. Nothing.
But is it wrong?
Turn on
Right.
the mic.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it's on.
Okay.
Okay.
But are we wrong? First of all,
Put us on the screen. That way we can enjoy watching ourselves.
First of all, like, how does he know that anyone said don't take video or don't post this or anything like that? How does he know that that's a thing?
Well, actually,
if it's actually posted by the instructor themselves.
Right.
Jay posted this video of his class. That's where this guy got the content from.
Right.
So clearly it's not something that snuck out, or Jay had an NDA that somebody ignored and snuck a video out, right?
Right.
Like,
he posted it himself.
Jay posted this himself. Now, James did have a rule that students couldn't video blocks of instruction because he didn't want people getting the class for free or out of context.
As you know, I have the same rule for 2.5
Right.
for other things.
Yeah. And for certain drills, he would say, be careful who you let take video if they're going to post it. Ask them if they're going to post it. Make sure if they do, give a little bit of context with it. So Jay kind of, as Praelectus, threw some stuff out there, and nothing wrong with him, right? Like,
If anything, he's inviting you to talk shit about it, because one, he put it out there himself, and then number two, it's going to be 5 seconds of what's likely a 16-hour class. So a tiny fraction of a percent of the class, and it's intentional. If he wanted to put 5 seconds of instruction, he would. And then Jade probably doesn't even know how to delete comments, so throw that shit out of there. And then if anybody knows Jay, and this dude never taking a class wouldn't know that, either from TAC Response or Praelectus, he's never taken it, so he wouldn't know. When Jay does tell war stories, it's over dinner and it's about some Iraqi dude eating ear pro because he thinks it's candy. Like,
yeah.
It's not about, oh, I've been there and done that. And then, I don't have genuine, like, war stories. Like, if you count turf war or gang war stories, I got a couple of those. But I don't have war stories, but it's easy to criticize war story instructors, and he'll do it again. It's easy to criticize war story instructors when you have no war stories.
Yeah.
Actually, let me address something here
Yeah.
on the tactical response group. Is that from tactical response?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we're training to fight for our lives. If you cannot accept the dangers that come with that, you aren't prepared to fight for your life. Let me actually expand a little bit on that, because I'm detecting that a lot of these dudes, like the grenade dude, I'm sorry, my English is not my first language. Sometimes Sometimes I mix up the words. You know what I'm saying? Um, you look at so many things on internet, right? And on the first page, like he's warning, right? Do good selection and filter out who you're going to learn from. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give our viewers advice. If on the first page, within the first 3 sentences, a company or an entity says, our students' safety is our first concern, don't go there.
Yeah.
I know it's a very controversial statement, right? Oh, he just said he doesn't care about students' safety. Dude, you sound like that bitch that was debating Jordan Peterson, where Jordan Peterson says, well, I think men should be manly. And she says, so what you're saying is women have to be abused and raped. If your intellect and your understanding and your ability to interpret people's words is at such level, you should not be listening to us or owning a gun, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, you should not exist. You should have been aborted. And I'm against abortion. I'm very much pro-life. I'm an Orthodox. I think all life is sacred. But you should have been aborted. I will do my repenting later. No, in this business, our job is within well-controlled environment to gradually train people to be able to function in high intensity, high density, high risk environments with maximum efficiency while minimizing the risk in training without diluting the gravity of what real violence is.
Yeah.
If that is not the focus of your training, let me use inappropriate language. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, he'll double down in a second.
Yeah, but it's absolutely true, man. And tactical response guys, I'm glad you're tuning in. Is that Joey, Kayla, Heather, Tim? You there too?
Oh God, if
who's
Tim is
Tim?
here.
Who's got a hold of the handle right now?
It's definitely not Tim.
And yeah, definitely not Tim. And then like Andrew, combat art training is right. Jay does least war stories out of anyone.
I wouldn't say he does the
like,
least, but he tells the best ones. As he was walking through the airport in Iraq for 3 hours and he was lost and the patrol found him. That's his fucking war story.
Yeah,
and he was so drunk, he doesn't remember half.
Like, yeah, none of his war stories are like,
I shot this guy in the face.
So there I was, knee deep in grenade pins and, like
duffel bag full of grenades.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah, his are more like, dude, this guy pulled out the biggest bottle of whiskey I'd ever seen. And I'm like, oh, shit. I thought this was a Muslim country. Like that kind of stuff over dinner.
Any other good comments there?
Yeah, those better be beheading videos. Someone's heard some of Jay's stories. Yep. It says certified in the opening paragraph. Yeah, that's another one. Like who certified this instructor?
Yeah.
Jay is here. What's up, Yachty? How you been? All right. So they're let's see. Ashigaru Defense.
That's Tom Hollaby.
Yep, is saying can't figure out if they hate GWAT grifters or love them. Dorks talk both sides of their mouths.
Yeah,
it's very true. Yeah, it's who is hot right now, and can I be the first one to try and
gobble their cock?
Pull them. Yeah, on the way up, they want to gobble as much as they can, and as soon as they're up at the top, then everybody's looking to pull them down. It's the nature of the beast.
Where does the gagging come in that process?
All the way through.
Yeah, a lot of it.
So there's like,
yeah. Speaking of, let's listen to a little more, I guess.
Thing you're doing requires an NDA or anything really that spicy. I know of one academy that's reputable that does require NDAs, and they are, you can go look that up. We can talk later, but this academy and this training group that we're talking about today does not. So 99.9% of the time, if your favorite primary instructor favorite guy on Instagram says, don't film anything of the content from this point on, then they are not worth their salt because they should be trying to spread their message, because most of the time you go to class not to learn, but to practice.
All right.
So he's about to say it. So that's one of the things we got written down. So as you go to class to practice what you should already know, and then you can have it looked at by a competent instructor. That's called a qualification. Like that once a year, when your troop or your Girl Scouts or whatever, or your police department go once a year to shoot 50 rounds at cardboard.
Yeah, we're going to training.
Yeah, it's what you should already know. No, you go to class to train. That's why people pay to go to this shit. Like, people will pay, Jay, like in that video, not just, oh, I'm some drill sergeant that people are forced at basically gunpoint to go take your shitty class. Like, no one would ever pay for what the Army has to offer. The Army pays them.
He did say you do go to practice and not to learn. So I think I'm changing all my classes.
Yeah.
I'm not teaching anything new. You guys just come in every class. Since I'm raising my prices tomorrow on all my classes. So for 2 days, $750 class, you're doing push-ups for 2 days. And I'm just evaluating what you already know.
Practice your bill drill.
What you think times. You know. If you think you know
you should already know this. That's why you're at class, is to practice what you already know in front. Like, this is the dude that goes to a class to show the instructor how good he can shoot. That's exactly what the fuck you just said.
So he's basically like a OnlyFans hoe.
Yeah. Except he wants people to pay him, but he wants to go to a Ben Stoker class, and then while he's cupping the balls, be like, hey, Ben, check out how good I'm doing because I came to practice at your class. No, like, if I was gifted a spot in a Ben Stoker class, I would go to learn, not to practice. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, there's a difference between training and practice. You know, there was somebody who made a video about that, about the difference between those two. What you're talking about is a qualification where you do the things you're already supposed to know. And if you got a 95 out of 100 or whatever, or a 23 out of 40 for the Army marksmanship test, and the guy says, hey, if you want to hit 25 next time, maybe do this.
Put us on the screen, Liz. So let me ask you a question then, Josh. So what you're saying is that if you are aspiring porn actor somewhere there in the valley, right? And I don't know, Ron Jeremy puts out a class,
right?
You know, how to use the big pipe.
Yeah.
So you go there to show how you use your little pipe, not to learn from him how to use the big pipe, right?
Right. I need to show him.
You need to show him how to use the 6 inches versus throwing 12 around, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
I hope that example kind of sunk in with all of you and stayed.
Yeah, I'll take 6.
And there was something he said before that I was about to jump on, and I lost it.
That's okay.
We can come back. There's a bunch of retarded shit.
I know of one academy that's reputable that does require NDAs, and they are, you can go look that up, we can talk later, but this academy and this training group that we're talking about today does not. So 99.9% of the time, if your favorite primary instructor, favorite guy on Instagram says, don't film anything of the content from this point on, then they are not worth their salt because they should be trying to spread their message, because most of the time you go to class not to learn, but to practice the things you should already know, have it repeated or have it refreshed in your brain, and then practice it on target to get feedback from the instructor, your peers in the class, and on the actual paper or cardboard. Now, this is where I come into play, because nobody really wants to be critical of these big training groups or tactical response and anything like that. What I am speaking from is just objectively as an instructor. So I'm going to very briefly explain who I am for those that will be new here, because this video will inevitably be shared to people that will take everything I say out of context. I don't represent the War Department or the United States Army in any way. However, I am a senior non-commissioned officer.
Okay, so he's saying that, like, nobody wants to come after tactical response. Like, unless you're already kind of in on the in crowd, that already kind of knows like that everybody's hip. The only time I hear people that are outside the crew talk about tact response is to talk shit about shit. They have no idea what's going on. They take the bag drill, hitting the heavy bag with a pistol. They take that out of context. Like nobody wants to talk shit about tact response. Like that's how, like literally, like watch, like the haters make me money, like from James. Like shut up. Like this dude doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like what? Nobody wants to criticize tactical response. Nobody. Like that's how they got the word out.
Listen,
Like
you're bringing facts here, Josh.
We don't like facts.
It sounds cooler if I'm the outlier willing to call them out.
right.
While I'm probably, as he was filming this, he was typing an email to SIG. Please sponsor me.
Right.
Please, will you sponsor me?
Yeah.
Is that after what's her name, Jerry Nicholas' daughter?
Yeah, she left
When
and
she
somebody
left
else
SIG
went
and all
out.
that. So
Yeah, probably.
He was already gunning for it. They
Well,
just
he
didn't want
thinks if he gets a SIG contract, maybe he'll be cool like GBRS.
right.
Because Matt Pranka already put fucking trench grenade in his place and fucking shit all over him for his
what? Wait,
Yeah.
Matt Branca, like
Yeah, X-Ray Alpha, fucking shit all over this dude on the
So,
live stream.
Tactical
I didn't
response
know that.
crew, has this dude ever taken a class? No, because I've asked him. He posted a couple of videos before this where I was kind of 50-50 because he's like, he made a direct copy of the all guns should be Glocks, except his were Gen 5 17s instead of Gen 3 19s. And then he had some little facts that I thought were kind of bullshit. So like the Gen 5 marksman barrel is more accurate, but it shoots slower. So like when he's talking like the 17 shoots faster, I was like, hey, whatever. I was like, hey, dude, you should take fighting pistol. And he said, well, I'm way past that, brother, which I think is fucking retarded. And I was like, my actual comment says, with love, I think you should retake it. I assumed when he says he's past that, he's taken it because in the same video, he talks about, getting his NSR holster, which is pretty cool. I got a bunch of them. They're great. And then how his dad and James were both cops when he was growing up and they were his influence. So like you've got this stuff here, but then clearly like totally missed. But then somebody on
Joey, you don't understand. He has a bronze
pistol medal.
A bronze merit badge of some kind for pistol shooting in competition in the Army.
Right.
So he wouldn't have anything.
I'll
to
go
learn.
further than that, Joey. Do not cast the pearls before the swine. You know we disagree on a lot about a training.
Right.
For years that me and James were ranting on each other, people thought we were gonna fight. And I was open about it. I disagree with 80% of what James teaches, and I was still his moderate friend. But dudes like that don't deserve your gestures.
No.
He's a whore. Did I just say that?
Yeah. Oh, he is. That's exactly. He's trying to be a whore.
Who tries to get a raise by mentioning your company instead of Jay's Briolectus.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the curriculums overlap or whatnot. I mean, how many things differently you can do with this? Yeah, I can use this as a hammer. I can shove it up someone's rectum. I can also, use it for its intended purposes. But that's really, you know what I mean? I can't really cook with this. I cannot heat up my tea. I cannot grind my coffee. I doubt I can satisfy a woman, although it depends. So, things are different. But Joe, like seriously, man.
It's Kayla.
It's Kayla.
Kayla. Hi, Kayla. Don't offer free shit to hoes like that. No, man. For one, you're gonna get an infection that you're gonna have a long time coming with all kinds of shit to try to get rid of.
Yeah.
That comes with 50,000 idiots following him, and just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
That's where so we were sitting like before class. We were sitting at a diner, and I was wondering about this, and they were saying like, "Oh, just let it go, whatever." But there's some of the things like, "Hey, like if you genuinely valued." Like, he says that James and his dad were his influence or whatever, like you would take fighting pistol or retake it in this case, which, he was kind of like 50-50 whether he had taken it. But some like on this one, he said, "Oh well, I value my head, and I'm trained well beyond that standard, like whatever the fuck that means."
And
Like,
we'll get to that, Calvin.
but like just whatever this shit means that's in his head, like
Is Calvin on?
yeah, but he's trained beyond this standard, but wants to kind of thinks he's the arbiter of like what is good or like what makes sense, like.
So he qualified himself as an ultimate judge who's gonna go like this,
Well,
guys. This is shit, and this is the cake, right?
Yeah. He'll get.
Oh,
did he do his resume yet?
He's gonna break his arm jerking himself off in a minute.
That's cool, man. Guys, you ready for a jerk off?
All right.
Here it comes.
In the infantry, airborne infantry, and mechanized infantry have been my specialty for the past 12 years. I am a drill sergeant, a instructor certified by the United States Army. I am a marksmanship master trainer, which means this is literally my cup of tea. I am certified by the Army to be a marksmanship master trainer, an MMT. I am an expert infantryman, a paratrooper. I am an excellence in competition badge holder in both rifle and pistol, bronze in both of those, as well as many other things. But this will help articulate the point. I have been a part of many live fires in both day and night, from urban environments, Bradley engagements, airborne operations, you name it, shoot houses, whatever you want to list, I've done it. Okay. Now, generally, I would say I don't want to toot my own horn, but for this video, I kind of have to, because as I've been a drill sergeant and an instructor on two separate assignments, I have instructed thousands of people in the martial use of firearms, both in defense and offense. So I am a subject matter expert in this field directly. And I don't say that, again, for my own ego. I'm saying that to articulate the point of who I am. Now, in all of that training, I have never had any situation where anyone has ever said, outside of operational security reasons, you cannot film anything past this point. Things include breaching exercises, shoot houses, urban warfare, night urban warfare, things that are more technical, Bradley live fires. There have been things that I have done, airborne operations, you name it, that, long range, medium range marksmanship and long range marksmanship, that people might think, oh, well, that's secret, you can't film it. No, you can. So anytime a primary or assistant instructor says you cannot film anything from this point on, or anytime they don't understand basic range safety or basic cadre to student safety ratio, or a terminal learning engagement or enable learning objective, you are in the wrong place. You need to run. Okay. So what you should have already seen on
I have heard enough. It is painful. I consider two options: to drill myself with this shit, or I'm gonna go take a piss.
Yeah.
I'll take the second option. I'll be right back.
So no, he
Fuck.
he talks he'll talk about it now, like how people rely on their CIB, their combat infantryman's badge, like people that have actually seen combat. He'll whine about that, but he's got his EIB, the expert infantryman's badge, which is a test. So he's got the skills on paper on a flat range, but no, he has not like actually done it. So that's what I meant by like it's easy to criticize dudes who have war stories when you have none. Like I've been to instructors where like they talk about themselves too much, but like clearly that's not Jay. Like full stop, definitely not Jay. But like that is the the academic version of war stories right there. Like Lewis, how many live fires have you been a part of? Like what the fuck does that mean?
Well, so I don't know. I worked at tactical response.
So
all of our drills were live fire.
So like thousands? Like
yeah.
what are we
thousands
quantifying?
Thousands. Here? Like, yeah, what is a live fire? That's a great question. Like, that's when the Army actually lets you put real bullets in the gun
right
during this exercise.
Right.
That's rare enough, I guess.
Yeah.
That it requires mention as something you partook in. Like, holy batshit. Holy batshit. I can't. Yeah, he said OPSEC. That's how it's legit. Let's see, what is Calvin here? Except for the infinity, or he hasn't even done the square of death, Calvin. He ain't ready for the infinity.
No.
And a little downrange. Here, let me just show Trench. I really hope he watches this, man. Let me show another little video of some downrange awesomeness.
Yeah, you doing the snake drill?
No, this one.
Oh, okay, this one. Yep. So
this one here. Get this big and mute it because the audio is not very important here. But let's go ahead and show this one up. So here's what is she? 8 years old at this point. Full power 9mm. None of these competition light loads.
yeah,
Right. She's got dummy rounds in the magazine. Like, and Kayla, trench grenade would leave fighting pistol when we demo fast, like, because we break the 180. But here's a girl absolutely unaffected in the 7 to 10-year-old range.
she was 9.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I think the problem here is she is not a bronze competition medal winner in the Army.
Yeah. Well, not actually a bronze medal, like excellence in competing.
Yeah.
Bronze. So is that like a bronze for participation
So it's
trophies?
like, yeah.
Like I don't know exactly what that means. I'm not cool enough.
I think
you
you get in like the top whatever percent of competitors. Which if there's a bunch in the Army, like it's dog shit. So it like I could probably do it like with 14 beers in and get in the top 5%, which is probably silver or something. So I would assume, yeah.
So yeah, there's a little bit of downrange. Yeah, she's that little girl was absolutely smoking it. She moved when she got a malfunction. She got it fixed. She had a little trouble racking. I think she started out the day with a 22 and it was malfunctioning on her a bunch. So her dad just handed her a 9mm, and she did awesome. Yep, a lot better grip than I've seen in other training videos, like this one here. Is that in here?
Yeah. And there's more to these. Like we've got a whole separate video on why the Army's training fucking sucks. But you gotta put the video up. Yeah. So check this out. These are the experts, likely taught by Trench. So I would assume.
So that's 7-year-old or 9-year-old looked a lot more squared away than these folks right here.
These guys are really squared.
Like, yeah. Yes. Like, got classic horse stance and whatever the hell
whatever this is. That's a, what part of this gun do I look at? Is his thumb coming over the back of that slide? Like,
right. And what do you guys think those, like if we could have a quick poll, what do you think all those wood around the things for? Is because these fucking retards can't keep their bullets at the berm. They can't point it at a hill. Like that's the lowest common denominator that we're talking about. And looks like Bill's in the comments. What's up, Bill?
Bill
Parvano.
Oh, hey, Bill. We're trying to fix our posture here. You know what I'm saying?
Square, got to have a square stance on the square range. Absolutely, because that's where the real training is. That was a quote, like the first quote that I had an interaction with him is on one of the Glock videos that I was telling. Like it's basically a copy of attack response video. He said, I'm actually going to do some real training on the square range. Like, do those two things go together? Like, no, you're shooting at a paper target. You're not moving. It's not moving. And you still can't get your hits. The end.
All right. Let's listen to some more of Trench Grenade's resume here.
Need the mic.
screen here
Sounds
is a
good.
number of different examples, and thankfully there are thousands from this training group, not only from tactical response, but more specifically this quote unquote senior instructor over there who has their own spin-off training group. And this is kind of a call out for the cadre at tactical response, or anybody that might see it, of like, hey, get your dude, because if they're supposedly training your curriculum and putting your name out there, it is a bad look. You need to police them up and get them back in the fold, because what we're going to talk about today are everything this individual is going against. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to get into is standards-based training and things of that nature. Now, what you might have seen in the videos that you just saw.
Put us on the screen.
So, Kayla, I think you need to go get Jay.
Yeah.
Police him up or whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah.
You're your instructor.
He's off the leash, man.
There you go.
If your instructors need a barrel at chow time to put your gun into and pull the trigger to ensure it's unloaded, that is a red flag.
Yeah.
Correct.
Not enough clearing barrels is tactical response's problem, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so go police up Jay. Like, whatever the hell that means. Like, go get your dude. Like,
Let me, if you don't mind, just a little bit like since I believe he used the word objective a few times in this shit,
yes.
right? So objectively, here's what I'm gonna say. You know, in this is not like country specific or East or West or NATO versus Russia or whatnot, but intelligence community, there is this little principle where they say, you know, when you're looking at things, you got to ask yourself, what is it that I know? What is it that I don't know or may not know? And then there's this little pesky thing, how do I feel about it? You know, and listening to dudes like this dude right here, okay? Like we listen to his list of credentialism and all that stuff. If I was to assess him as far as what he knows, this is a bottom dwelling, common core, institutional shit that's being put out to do the check marks, to put a patch that he's an infantryman or whatnot, with certainly not a primary weapon. And as we've seen on this particular video, and there's more, and there's much worse, as you guys have seen more than once and more than twice. So this is as far as what he knows as his, you know, base knowledge. What does he know about what Jay was teaching? He took a short clip. He hasn't heard, participated, seen how many times these guys ran the drills that address specific attributes that are involved in what we have seen. Right. What instructions were given, what parameters, metrics Jay explained. He doesn't know none of it. He doesn't mention it. He simply looks at that, and then like a little millennial who doesn't know which bathroom to use today, he goes like, I feel like this is unsafe. I mean, this is my call, because he's calling out there for tactical response to pull in their little Chihuahua Jay because he's doing unsafe things out there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to say to people viewing and those of you who are going to share this eventually, I'm going to say to all people watching this, be very, very, you know, like deliberate in questioning any validity in what this dude has to say, because he sounds like a fucking snowflake without knowledge, skill, nor ability to discern objectively what is it that he know, what he doesn't know, and he just speaks about his feels.
He's got merit badges, Sonny.
Yeah, he's got a ton of merit.
Yeah,
badges.
he's I don't know if he said it yet or not, but he's a master marksmanship instructor.
Yes, he did.
So he's talking about, oh, I did this, you know, long and medium range engagements, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, Jay was a fucking, like, genuine ninja sniper. Like, what? Like, oh, like, what are we talking? Like, are you going to duel at 500 yards or what?
Like, Jay would beat him.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Right. You going to duel at, you know,
like,
1 yard or what?
So as someone who knows about the military, can you please comment below who, like, if you had to have someone take a shot to like save a family member of yours, right? Would you rather it be a Marine Scout sniper,
Or a master marksmanship instructor in the Army.
someone, a master marksmanship instructor, badge holder?
Yeah. And then I think you
In
still
your-
need 23 out of 40 hits to pass the master marksmanship instructor.
Holy shit! Yeah,
And
you
then
only
That's
need
like over 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, 70% live fire and 80% on the test. So you can fuck up quite a bit of that and still be a master.
That's pretty
marksmanship
fucking
instructor.
cool. I should have joined U.S. Army.
Right.
All right, let's go back to it. Let's see what more he has for us.
Are training that have no standards or outcome-based training, i.e., you're trying to measure a terminal learning objective or enabling learning objective. All that simply means is, for example, if you have a urban rifle marksmanship or urban pistol marksmanship day or night qualification, and the standard is 20 out of 20 rounds that you are issued have to hit the paper, but 14 out of those 20 have to be in the alpha zone. And when I say hit the paper, I mean hit the target, the actual bad guy. There's Sierras and there's Tangos. The Tango is the bad guy, the Sierra is the civilian or non-threatening individual. So for an example of standards-based training is for urban rifle marksmanship, you have 20 rounds. All rounds are accounted for either in the bad guy or still in the magazine or in the weapon. 14 of those have to be in the alpha or critical area, instant incapacitation, fight stopping end, or you're an automatic no-go. What you're seeing in a lot of these clips is there is no outcome that is tangible. Shooting your buddy on accident because there's no safety methods in place, or there were no dry and blank runs, or even multiple dry runs to make sure that you understand what the overall terminal learning objective or the
So to come back to an idiot who doesn't know and only talks about feelings, who told you? Where did you read that there were no multiple dry runs? How do you know that Jay did not put a very clear metrics as to what is expected? I'm not even going to go into higher education with you because you don't have enough brain matter to understand that training, true training for true competence is not based on the outcome.
Yeah.
Training for true competence is based on developing, or should be geared on developing attributes that allow you to perform with the utmost efficiency in various conditions.
But all his
Now-
training is a test.
Well,
It's a build drill.
And is there a way we could look at it to make him happy? We can make it objective. Like maybe instead of 14 rounds in the bad guy and the remaining in the magazine or the whatever, like, okay, so the objective outcome for this drill was put bullets on the steel and not on the guy. It is graded on pass or fail.
Right.
And the thousands and thousands of students who have run similar drills at Tactical Response throughout the years, and instructors associated with and others doing similar things, Super Dave drills, your classes, right? Like these thousands of students who have shot in close proximity past other students, is there no learning going on in any of those classes because it's not scored 14 out of 20?
It's not quantified.
Like we
quantified the 2.5.
Yeah.
We quantified the 2.5.
I
But
would
what's
love-
so quantification is one, right? Because we look at the time, how long it take you to run the 2.5. We look at the hits on the target. We look at the hostage hits. We look at static hits, right? But after you all guys run the 2.5, what did I tell you what I was looking for? What is your exposure? How long you lingered where the bad guy could have shot?
Yeah. And I've had lower scores on the 2.5 that weren't as good as runs where I've had higher, or I've gotten more out of, or
Yeah, but in
learned
2
more,
weeks
or,
we're going to do force
or
on
done
force.
better. Yeah, like
Right.
so it's definitely gives you some metrics to quantify, but for him to say that there's nothing
As I said, this is
objective here.
this
Yeah,
is the
there is.
comparison of the
Like,
guy his judgment on the proficiency in the full, totality of the game of basketball is your proficiency in shooting free throws.
right.
That determines how well you can play in NBA finals.
Yeah.
Right.
That's basically his
Well,
statement.
and he wants to know how many times you stood at the free throw line with no ball and just went like this too, because
Before, yeah.
they in the Army they make you do that
You
for
could-
a few
you could-
weeks
you could
first,
sprain your
and then they'll
wrist.
give you
Yeah.
then they give you maybe like a blank adapter ball of some kind,
Well,
like
I mean,
a ball
I-
on a string,
like a Nerf ball.
Yeah.
I told
so you don't
you
hurt
the
your
story
wrists.
how I was trained once I got out of basic training in the Soviet military, right? I wasn't even given the gun, and I was sent downrange.
Mhm.
And the officer, who probably has shot in real life at more people than you have trained, trench guy, in places around the world, opened up, right? And the only thing he told me, right, was move as if you want to live. And after a while of doing that, I was given unloaded weapon, and he goes like, continue moving as if you want to live, but as much as possible, trying to maintain that weapon directed towards me as you move.
Yeah. So how do you quantify that? How is that?
So
that's not objective.
What we really
Sonny.
need to know
There's
is,
no measurable.
is like that guy who was training you, one, was he a drill sergeant? And two, what was his bill drill?
I don't know his bill drill, but I have seen him do things that I will not necessarily discuss here.
So he was
I told you guys
at
in
least-
training what I've seen through the scope him doing in a certain situation, in certain facility,
at least a
with the
bronze.
upside down thing,
At least a bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least he
No,
was
I
at
think-
least silver.
No, I think he was kind of like at the level of maple,
Right.
maybe oak,
Right.
maybe.
It's just fucking wild.
Any good comment, man?
Let's see.
Anything funny? Because people were pretty damn funny today.
Totally unrelated fact. Projection is a defense mechanism where an individual unconsciously attributes their own unacceptable emotions, thoughts, or impulses onto another person or group. Yeah, that's interesting. Fun fact. And let's see what else. We'll let Kayla get some shots in here. It's a way to distance oneself from uncomfortable feelings or inner conflicts by projecting them onto an external source. Often means to avoid taking responsibility for them. Yeah.
Kayla, you like playing like a shrink to a guy who's, I think, actually beyond needing shrink. I think he needs meds.
Yeah. How many times do you dry something, wife, before you do it for real?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. So Jay is not a fan of dry runs. So let's be honest. There's probably no dry run for that drill.
Right. But
however, there was definitely explanation and parameters set.
Yeah.
And there were additional non-dry drills prior
Right.
before it got
Evaluation
to it.
drills.
how much safer can you get it when it, like, some of the comments are like, oh, this is the most unathletic shooting I've ever seen. So they're going decently slow. So they're going slow. You know the person's coming, and you can have them in your field of view. Like, you're not shooting fast. It's not a super hard target. It's not so much stress. How much more of a controlled environment can you get? Like, how safer could that be?
Yeah. Comment if you've run a drill similar to this, like with people moving in front of you and you having to kind of windows close in, avert your muzzle, then get back on as soon as possible. Like, go ahead, comment below. Is there actually more danger in driving to work? Because the cars in the other lane break the 180 on me all the time. I don't know about you guys, but comment below if you think there's more danger in one of these drills being run under the watchful eye of one of the professional instructors that does these type of drills, or driving to work.
Right.
Go ahead, drop it below.
Well, that's another thing. So you don't know if that other driver is paying attention, or if they're drunk, or if they just don't want to be alive anymore, or can actually knows how to drive. But they took a driver's test 50 years ago, so they're certified. But now you've got two people who know they're on the same page and know what's going on. How much more controlled could you be? Like, the two people that are in the barrel drill know what's going to happen.
Well, and I don't know if we got to it, but there's a part in this video where he talks about like a risk reward.
It's the next part.
Basically, like, is juice worth the squeeze? Like, unless you have done it, how do you know if it's worth the squeeze? If you've never been inside of a Mercedes, if you've never pulled the door handle to open that door, if you've never sat in that leather, closed the door, started the engine, and drove it down the block, how could you possibly know why it is more expensive than a Toyota Corolla? How could you? You simply can't. I think you've got the book maybe even somewhere near you right now, right?
Oh, yeah. Watch this. Hold on a second. I'm going to try to pull it in front of camera. Watch at the bottom.
So, really good book, guys. Go ahead and put that on your reading list. If you're into faith, some really good things to think about in there. But he talks about the three types of knowledge, being a subjective knowledge, like, this is my truth, versus objective knowledge, right? Like, gravity does this, objectively true. And then there's certain things that are participatory knowledge. Okay. You can't tell me what it's like to be a part of my family by looking at our family photo album, right? Until you participate in the thing, you can't extract the knowledge from it. So
let me give you an example. You watching me hitting the Josh. Tell me.
Yeah. What did it feel like?
Right.
So yeah. So he's got a problem there when you go to the risk reward thing, because then he starts talking about how, under night vision, we do some stuff that's kind of hairy, but the risk is worth that reward. Like, I would argue wholeheartedly, again, if you've done a drill similar to this, go ahead, comment below the value you got out of it. But I would argue that taking that shot between me and Josh at the lock on that safe on the range, right, under conditions that are as controlled as possible and being evaluated by a professional instructor, taking that shot will help you when you're in the Walmart aisle and the dude with an AK is at the other end, or the person running around with a knife stabbing people. I don't know why it's always a Walmart, but
and always an AK,
right?
Yeah.
So
that's the difference there. You're either going to have the person in your head, the range safety officer, that's going to scream like, "Never do this, never point it, don't do this," and then you're going to sit as other people die, and then you will soon follow, or you're going to have the thing, "I can do this,"
or you're going to, and if you've never done it before, you're going to have your vision, right? Competition shooters love saying, gun goes where the vision goes, gun goes where the vision goes, gun goes where the vision goes. Your vision, you're going to be so consumed by that mother pushing her stroller that you get sucked into that, as opposed to the dude who needs to be shot. Where do you think your bullets are going to go if that happens to you? How can you tell me that there's no value in a drill where your friend is walking in front of you and you have to be focused in on the target and the shot you're about to make, but also process in your peripherals what's going on in between you and the target?
How many times you guys in training when we played with these things, when I pull out the live blade and your whole attention goes where?
Right to the blade.
Yeah. Yep. That's a big thing. So if we're talking about participatory knowledge, like you say as a competition shooter, you say like, oh, it's the vision, and oh, I can do all these things, and it's all like objective because I can put it on paper that I'm this fucking speed queen master marksman ninja guy. Like, okay, what about like when you poop yourself because some dude's shooting people? Or like when someone has intent to take your life and is pointing a gun at you, like, what about then? Like, what if it's not a beep that triggers your drill? What if it's getting hit in the back of the head with a wrench? Like, that's what is going to really happen. But you're just going to say, like, oh, my build drill's cool, or my draw to first shot's the best, or whatever. Like, what does that mean? Like the bad guy is going to dictate whether that was good enough or not. And if they're good at what they do, it's not.
And like with this, so Fat Nuts says, never been shot in a class, but have stopped a 4,000-pound projectile at a closing speed of 130. Luckily lived. Exactly. Exactly. So that goes back to the what's more dangerous, driving to work or running a drill like this. And I mean, dude, it's right there. We do that on a daily basis. It will risk reward, bro. You're just trying to get to the other side of town. You could walk and it'd be much safer. Like risk reward, bro. Juice isn't worth the squeeze because cars are scary to me, so nobody should drive them to work.
What's riskier, doing a downrange drill in, let's say, attack response class, since he's calling them out? What's more dangerous, that or putting your gun in and out of your holster? How many more people get shot doing that shit, or thinking their gun's unloaded and they light a round off, or they ignore where shit's supposed to go? Like when someone's downrange from you, you are a lot more attentive to what's going on. So what's more dangerous, putting it in and out of the holster? Like, okay, well, is that risk worth the reward? I say yes. But if you say no, if you're going to try and be the arbiter of what's too dangerous, like, why even carry a gun? What if you just didn't have one and then there would be no risk of getting shot? Like, that sounds pretty cool to me, except you don't get to live in La La Land. It's the real world. So you have to take a risk to know what's going on.
Let me tell you something about the risks. When you walk in and it's no longer force on force, it's no longer the barrels. People will do all kinds of mental gymnastics. When they talk about what really happens in that real world, as you ask, which world do you live in, right? But how many times you guys seen when we put certain parameters in, let's say 2.5, right? That as he was making fun and kind of implying that Jay is totally discounting and disrespecting and making fun and mocking the four range safety rules and all that stuff. If you kept your finger as you taught by the safety rules, right, and you coming out and that thing down there, down the range, is not a steel target, is not a paper target, right? It's an actual person with an actual gun. Okay. What difference does it make as far as your exposure to that?
Well, we can quantify that. I can say definitively it would take what would be 30% exposure and increase it to at least 60%.
So then going by, how much target does the bad guy see? Of course, he's not qualified. He sucks. He doesn't have skills or all that, right? So I go like, but it's definitely cool to have on your headstone after they bury you. He died, but he died righteously because he followed the rules.
Yeah. So that's something that John Farnham talks about in his class. Is just like when people bring that up, like, is training with guns safe? People will ask, like, oh, well, like, is this safe? It's like, well, no, it's not. Of course it's not. It's a thing that can kill somebody else. It's not going to be safe. So if you want to follow the rules and that might lead to your death, it will be like, here lies Lewis or here lies Trench Grenade. He was very safe. What did that get you? Nothing.
Like, yeah, ugats, like we say in Italian.
Yeah.
Where's Bill? Is Bill still there?
Gets
you ugats.
We've been on for over 2 hours, right?
Oh, damn, this is going. All right, let's hit a couple of these comments because Dylan had a good question. How much training hours, ? Days, should a new student have before they do downrange drills? Dylan, that's not something that's a cookie cutter answer.
I think it's a wrong metric.
Yeah,
As far as days, hours, or whatnot, training is not the same. Okay, if instructor has understanding of much more than just pressing the trigger and goes even beyond the proper grip, the proper presentation, all the other, technicalities of pressing the trigger. If instructor has the understanding of how more of your inner workings, what happens here, what happens here. Mm-hmm. If instructor has the understanding of how the nervous system versus what happens first, do you gain understanding of what is the problem in front of you, or you're going to have a twitch reaction due to what's in front of you? Yeah. And many other things. That's going to determine it, I believe, at what point you can put people there with the downrange work.
Yeah.
I can tell you this, that with one person who happens to be my wife, it was her second live fire class with me when I stood next to target, and I kind of jokingly said, we'll see if she really loves me. And she did what she had to do, and she told me later she was very nervous because that was the first time she did it with live fire and all that. And but then she also told me, I'm actually very glad I did, because a lot of things became clear. She goes, my focus on what needs to be shot versus what I'm afraid to shoot changed beyond what any theory could have explained to me. There's my clarity as far as I don't care about the outcome. I just need to think in the moment, for that moment, the best way I know how to, based on training I have received. And then the outcome will be the result of me doing in the moment, for the moment, the things the right way. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking forward, oh my God, I see the tree. You will hit the tree. Where am I going? Where is my foot? Where is my hands on the wheel? Where are my eyes?
So I think that was Calvin was probably answering that question for Dylan as well. Like there's been people asked to sit out of drills, that had taken a number of classes, done a lot of training, and just
but their mental capacity and emotional capacity wasn't quite there to perform. We've seen it. We've done it.
There was something where it was like, hey, we're going to do the thing.
Watch
the next thing that we're going to do. We said in the beginning of the day, all drills are optional. Like, we think you should exercise your option to just learn from the sidelines on this one. And then there's been people that showed up. I think this was in Idaho. We were doing fighting pistol and advanced, and it was their first day touching a gun at the beginning of fighting pistol. And by somewhere around the end of day one of fighting pistol, I knew that they weren't going to be a problem and we're going to be able to do everything in the advanced class. So it's time, hours, days training. That
is not the metric.
Like, how old does a child need to be to understand and get the most out of a fighting pistol lecture? Like, that's going to be different on every kid, every parent,
And I think to expand on that, I wanted to touch on this, right? When you look at institutional training, what is institutional training? When people brag that, I've trained tens of thousands of soldiers in U.S. Army basic training or whatever. What does that mean? You really trained a group for a check mark. In our classes, I've seen Louis teach, I know I teach, I've seen Jay both teach and learn, right? Each person participating is separate individual. It's not a collective, and you look at each individual as an instructor, you should have somewhat of an experience, somewhat of understanding, ability to read people where you go like, his mental, his psychological, his emotional state is such and such, right? And you look at his problem-solving abilities with his cognitive skills, as far as, you've seen the guys without need to mention, right? They get nervous, everything is shaking in them, right? Do I want him doing certain drills? Is that a minus of this guy? No, it's objectively because of this or that or this or that.
Mhm.
His functions have been reduced.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It could be
Absolutely.
health issues. It could be pre-existing blood pressure, whatever.
And
right?
there's different ways
Yes.
to bring those different people back.
Absolutely.
Like when I'm teaching Josh's mom to shoot, a little bit different than things I keyed in on and approaches I took than when I'm teaching Nick to shoot. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like a good quality instructor can do that, has to do that, should do that, right?
Because you're teaching individuals, you're teaching
Yeah.
each human being. You're not teaching 10,000 soldiers that need to get
This
your
class.
52%,
Right.
score on the paper, in the static, whatever. We're not going to go into
Yeah.
the whole metrics.
Well,
metrics bullshit.
that's where that comes in, because then those scores
What does that mean?
then serve to see, well, who even knows it, who doesn't. I read the paper, and if they don't receive it that way,
To
it's
me,
on
example
them.
is like that, institutional training. What is institutional training? It's McDonald's of firearms or violence industry. Okay,
Yeah.
when you're serving 10,000 burgers in one day,
They have to
in
be
one,
the
in
same
one,
size.
in one zip
Yep.
code, everything has to be the same. Everything is
Mhm.
prepackaged, frozen, ready to go. 2 minutes in the microwave, boom, ready to go. Right.
And-
When you go to RJ's Food and Table, where
Yeah.
he makes you burger per order, he goes like, "I need gluten free. I cannot do." Everything is made to
Right.
order. Right. He sells 12 of those, 20
Mhm.
of those burgers a day. Right. Are they different burgers?
Or my grandma making the meatballs and taking a little bit of veal, a little bit of the beef, a little bit of pork, and making one meatball versus, okay, and if it's a pinch over on one, it doesn't matter. They're going to be delicious. If we start looking at it from the cost perspective, like Uncle Sugar would, right? Like, well, that extra this much beef on every McDonald's burger, we're now talking millions of dollars, can't have it, has to be systematized, has to be
And that's
brought
the
down
thing with
to
institutional
common core
thing.
bullshit.
No matter how you look at it, no matter how much you want to love the institution because it serves the freedom and it brings prosperity and democracy into the whole world, and it protects our way of life, and it always has, and we are, house on the shining house on the hill, whatever you want to say about it, and we're under the right flag. Institution cannot provide quality.
No, not even close.
Institutions are built to meet quantity requirements.
Right. But he even said, like, oh, you come for this qualification and you're issued 20 rounds and you have to shoot at least 14 of them on the paper. Like,
That kind of explains a lot about that burger, right?
Yeah. Like, what is
Issued 20 rounds. So wait, they didn't just grab the gun? Like when you're in the, like,
you just have your gun
in
it's
boot
loaded.
camp, you don't just have a loaded gun next to your bunk?
Nope.
Like in the team room? Is that
Like in your bedroom next to your bed?
Right.
Yeah.
Like all of us three here sitting here with,
Right.
right, with the Milwaukee in there with the battery.
Right. Yeah. It's made for the dudes that had to get a waiver for their ASVAB. So, like, they're like, you can score pretty low. And, like, I think the Army's is still the lowest. And you can get a waiver for being lower than that, and you're still supposed to pass this test.
I designed some systems for the hotel I worked for where literally there was a way to do it that would have been the best. This is the best way to do it. But it required a lot of people to do the right thing.
Right.
Can't have that.
No.
That ended up with some mess ups. So every time I would look at something and try and design a system, I'd have to design how can this not be broken by the dumbest person in the building?
Lowest common denominator.
Yeah. So that waitress that unplugged the entire nightclub's credit card processing system so that she could charge her phone to talk to her boyfriend so she could tell him that she was going to be working late so that she could go with
Another
her
boyfriend.
other boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
she needed to charge her phone. So the entire nightclub's credit card processing gets shut down. It's like, when you're dealing with that kind of person, I understand how you have to design your system that way. But to be in that system and to realize, like, 90% of the people dealing with the thing would be like, hey, wouldn't it be better if we did this? And I'd be like, yes, you're right. So do that. This is a bare minimum. So they should know that they are participating in the minimum, not what the standard should be or what the goal should be.
You are being taught how not to shit your pants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
But
to
and
put it in
they
the
still-
basic terms, you're being potty trained.
Yes.
How not to shit your pants because it's gonna rub against your ass crack, and then it's gonna be red, and then they're gonna need to put a cream.
Drill Sergeant, I know you told us we should use the latrine earlier, but I've ignored you, and now I really need to go.
So 13 points above retarded is military. Like, okay. So then a minimum score of 31, is that with a waiver? Like, that's got to be without a waiver, right, Andrew? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, and that's out of what, 99? Damn. Like, that's like.
Do we really even need to play any more of this video?
I don't think so.
I think
we're not even halfway through.
we're
On this
not,
video.
and I don't think we need to really continue. Not because of time restraints. I can sit here until midnight and we can talk all this shit, But I think folks. For some of you, it may have seemed like a personal attack on the trench grenade or whatnot. It's not, But when you put yourself, with significant following, you put yourself out there and you make these comments and you make your resume as like you are above Jay Gibson, and Jay Gibson is just this dude who doesn't know what he's doing. He's a danger to society, danger to his students. You all should avoid him, and also tactical response because Jay used to work there and all that. Dude, you know what you did, Trench? You undressed yourself and you stood naked downrange for us.
Right.
And it's not because we don't like you. You're probably a great guy. You probably love your soldiers. You probably love your woman if you have one. If you're a dad, you probably love your kids. Maybe you go to church. Maybe you look at the cross. Maybe you say your prayers. You know what I mean? And we're with you on that, dude. So don't take this personally. But when you say things like that because you don't think objectively, what are you doing? And you're doing it to elevate yourself at the expense of others, and you didn't even bother. You didn't even use intellectual gravity. You didn't even use decency. Any of those metrics to kind of look at it and go like, why is Jay doing what is Jay doing? How would this make sense instead of going like, this is how I can shit on it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, you exposed yourself at the target and we took a shot. So don't be mad at us. I would actually say buy yourself. Walmart has great sale on Black Friday on mirrors. Look at it and ask yourself, why the fuck these three dudes gangbanged me?
Right.
This is why, Trench. I'm not saying you are stupid, but things that you said were stupid. And
Dude, I'd love to have a conversation with him.
Absolutely.
Like I asked him
Absolutely.
in his comments for over a week. I tried to see if he'd have an open-minded discussion about this. I think progress was made the last time I did one of those with someone kind of similarly shitting on stuff. But he didn't want to have a conversation. So
we're
we're
not big enough yet, man.
But,
we only have like 150 followers since this is our first video and all that. But by the time we reach like 150,000, maybe he'll ask us if he can explain himself.
I mean, I'm not the biggest dude, but I bet I'm bigger than Trench wants to see in that elevator in Vegas after trying to take food out of the mouths of people in Camden working hard to continue the legacy of James Yeager, right? So there's people there that are working hard to put food on tables, and you tried to take it out and take it off of their table.
And you're doing it in a cheap way because you don't even put the effort to try to understand what they teach, why they say what they say. And, I would like to think that you do have enough IQ if you put an effort into it to understand it. But there is a possibility you just dumb fuck. You know what I mean? And in that case, we apologize because we're kind of punching low hanging fruit. But the language you use, in my opinion, you're certainly above 85 IQ. That doesn't mean you have general intelligence, but again, I'm trying to be funny here. I take sarcasm, okay? Comedy show. You talk like that, man, and you make it all about yourself. Hey, look, the things that I have balls to say to my 50,000 followers.
Dude, there are people out there who are students of violence. There are people out there who are very skilled at violence. These are not people that you want to. What does Doc say? Like, does this mean we can't be friends? Right. I'd hate to think what I'd do if we weren't friends. Like, dude,
I don't think I could bear it.
Yeah, I don't think I could bear it. Like, just be careful. There are real people's lives that are behind stuff on the internet, man. And like, I get it. Again, going for the influencer route, right? Because you're not starting. It doesn't seem like you're trying to start a training company. You're trying to receive a certain number of followers, which will make you marketable to bigger companies to try and get the sponsorships, and
So you're a whore.
Yeah, you're right now. Well, he's not actually being paid yet, so he's just a slut going down the street with his legs spread. But be careful what you're running your cheeks over while you're doing it, because there's just no need to piss people off.
Yeah, and then like you've said in your videos that James was an influence. And then a couple of the videos that I watched and commented on were basically a ripoff of his videos. Like, all guns should be Glocks and all Glocks should be 17s. Well, his video was the same, but it was 19s. You claim that he was an influence. Like, what does that mean to you? Like, clearly you've admitted not taking a class.
Well, maybe he didn't get enough followers by sucking up to James.
So then the shit stalking.
He didn't steal enough followers from trying to go on the buddy route with tactical response, right? He didn't steal enough followers from them or subscribers. So now he's going the bash it route to try and get followers.
I'm not trying to go that far, but I'm thinking like if you genuinely cared about like either the legacy or the influence that he had, like I don't see how James could be that big of an influence and you not have taken Fighting Pistol. And then discounting it wholeheartedly and then shit talking the people that he trusted his life and his business with. Like that's exactly where Jay would be. And then saying things that affect his kids and his business in that way. Like if Jay, like I've said it before and we've already popped the cork on it. Like if James were alive today, one, he would call you a little faggot. And then number two, he would tell you to get some real training. And then you would say something gay, like, oh, I'm way past that. And he would say, that's fucking stupid. Like, Fighting Pistol is not a skills class where it's like, oh, I'm at least this good of a bill drill or I'm a silver, bronze pistol medal. It's about mindset. And then you take that. And then guess what? If you don't think that you learned anything, like they've got a money back guarantee, which I'm sure you will hopefully learn something. And then you can go take the advanced class or you can go take something else. Or you can just not denigrate something. Like either you're lying about James being an influence or you're being honest and then you're just being a piece of shit about it. Like I'm not going to go that far and say that. Like in another way, like, you know, outside of this video, we could be friends. Like, I shop from NSR holsters too. And, I watched a lot of James's videos. It was cool hanging out with him while that was a thing, and, not as an instructor, but I've traveled, all the way to the other edge of the country to go hang out with him, like from Oregon to Tennessee and all this stuff. Like, if you got something out of that, like we got a lot more in common than it seems is at play here. But I just don't know what the goal is. If the goal is to take a shit on tactical response and get some clout, like what are you getting? You're getting other people who have either watched videos and not paid attention, or people who never supported them anyway. Like, that's the people that you're farming off of that. You're not getting any of his good students who actually care and are going to make you better.
And I'm kind of black-pilled because I don't think he cares. I think he wants a subscriber count so he can tell Olight, I have this many subscribers. Let me tell everybody how great your light is. Cut me a check for $5,000.
I think the best he can hope for is actually calling Rabbi Shmuley to advertise his daughter's dildos. You know what I mean? So if you want to go that route, find the number. I don't have Shmuley's number or whatnot. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else to add about that, dudes?
I think if we, like, at least on a productive note, like, get some training. Like, don't be a dick about it. Like, there's more to shooting. There's more to gunfighting. There's more to protecting yourself than just going to competitions. Like, that's we're not even halfway through that 20-minute video. And we're at 2.5 hours.
We're not doing
like
that.
No, I know. It's just like there's so much more there that you could be getting grilled on, but it's not even worth it. Like,
you're not ready for it.
The first 10 minutes of this criticism could solve a lot of problems in your life.
Like, if you do see this and you don't want to have a public conversation, I'd be happy to talk to you privately on the phone. I'll meet you at the Circle Bar in Vegas during SHOT Show. Like, there is so much juice that is of such great value for the squeeze, and you just don't see it, man, and you can't until you do it. Like, I'd be happy to buy you a drink at the Circle Bar and talk about it,
but no free classes.
If Trench missed breakfast, I wonder how he would feel. So he was part of a conversation where they asked that, and then
but they asked it to
to somebody else,
and I think both of them were stumped.
Right. I don't know. Like, I'd like it to be, and this is the conversation I had even before the shit talking, like when it was like, maybe he was influenced by James and was kind of getting into it. Like, I was being like, man, like, this would be really cool to get this guy into the fold and at least have him take a class, go take fighting pistol and actually put your money where your mouth is. But like, is it worth it? I don't know. Like, is it just going to be another chance for some clout? Like, I don't really understand what you really get out of it other than other people who just like you shit talking. I don't understand that. Like I said, you're not getting the cream of the crop, the best students of tact response to be like, yeah, screw that. Like, it's so unsafe. You're just getting if James was popular because of his haters and made a business, what you're trying to do is find all those haters and then like give them a rallying cry. Except like this shit's been going on. Like, that's one of the things that's in the other half of the video. And then throughout the comments is people saying like, James would be rolling over in his grave if he saw this. Like, dude, like, that tact response has been going, I think this year is 30 years. Like, I don't know if this is a drill like immediately in 96 when it opened, but they've been doing that kind of drill and downrange shit and way more cool shit longer than you've been doing it. Like, that Trench has got to be what, 30, 35? Yeah. Like, dude.
He looks young.
Right. Well, and that's the same other people doing downrange drills. Ken Hackathorn has been doing it for 50 years. Like, how is it just unsafe now? Right now, 2025. Like, it's the same shit. Like, 5 seconds out of context does not make you the arbiter of what's safe. And then not only what's safe, but what's productive for the student. Like, if you want something to be productive for the student, it'd be based on what they get out of it, not what you got out of 5 seconds. Like, you're filtering it through a really gay institutional lens from the Army. Like, that's not something that I would want. That's not an opinion that I would pay for. And that's really not something I would watch unless you start calling people out, you know. But that's where we're at. Like, I think if you're being intellectually honest, you can't afford to not train downrange. Like, when it's your wife that's being held hostage. Like, my neighbor that was across the street where I used to live, his wife was held hostage. I'm sure afterwards he would have been like, man, like, maybe I should train, like, when shit's going on. Like, Sonny was talking about his wife doing stuff and she's nervous and it's on paper. Like, this is a dude holding a knife to his wife's throat. He had to shoot him in the face. Like, I'm sure your wife would be cool if you started practicing in something that's a little dangerous. You're training with a firearm. It's fucking dangerous. There's nothing you can do with a gun that is safe.
Actually, dude, let me give you advice. I'm an old man. You know, I'm probably close to double your age. Chicks, they really get excited when men do dangerous things. They think it makes these men fucking hot. They want to sleep with them. They want to do unspeakable things. You know what I'm saying? Take advice from an old man who's married to a woman 22 years younger than him. Chicks really think that this is hot stuff. Women see men that, you know, we don't do it because it's cool, you know, so let me just preclude that, right? But women, I think even biologically, they recognize competence.
That's a protector.
It's a protector, it's a hunter, it's a provider. I can be at peace next to this dude.
Right.
He's going to protect our kids. He's going to, you know,
Right.
And for women, it's attractive.
Right.
For at least for high value women.
Well, and at the very least, it's not just a stack of pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Like, if you were in that position to have to make a shot like that, whether it's a hostage shot or an active shooter in public and you couldn't make it, could you live with yourself knowing that you could have done more? Like, that's the question you have to be honest with yourself and ask. And if you can say, yeah, I could have gotten better at that, but I'm just going to choose not to, that's totally fine if you think you can live with that, but I sincerely doubt it.
There is a saying, you know, the suffering of the effort of the grind is nothing compared to agony of regret.
Yes.
You know, and if we claim that we're preparing people and training people for the unspeakable moment, you know, where everything comes to that, sometimes within a split second, you know, you can say that I never trained risky things. I've never done things that could have in any way, shape, or form make someone feel uncomfortable, especially looking through YouTube videos. You know, but the agony of regret while you're standing over the casket of your wife, your child, your neighbor, your friend, or just someone you never met, but you could have, but you didn't change the outcome. It's going to stay with you forever, you know, and I know the response to that would be like, how about agony of regret when you shoot somebody in training? I'm one of the few people who has done it. Come talk to me. Come talk to me. I think that we should ask our viewers also to make some suggestions for us for the future, because I'm sure you guys already collected quite a library of future videos for us to digest.
Yeah, and for you 20 that are sticking around, like, dude, thank you guys. This was I think a productive first run, but yeah, comment below, or better yet, if once it gets published, if you could drop comments thereafter for us to get the comments started going on that, and so that they stay for future topics and stuff like that, where we should go.
If you guys have some super cool video that we may have not seen. Now, again, understand this, that certain videos will be flagged by the nature. You know, if you want us to dissect cartel video where the pit bull is eating the guy's genitals out of him while he's still alive, for one, there's not much to dissect there.
Well, it's a transition surgery.
Right, transition surgery. But, you know, like violent stuff, surveillance cameras, body cams, that kind of stuff. If you have something training wise that you would want us to take a look at and for us to give our take, as comfortable or uncomfortable as it may be, drop us a line. You know, we thought about it. We think about this as a long-term project. It's going to be once a week. We're not going to do like daily. Eventually, if we start becoming super famous and SIG offers us sponsorship, then we may do it twice a week.
Yeah.
If I get the 320 for free, forget about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to do some really hot videos with the 320s if SIG provides us with those. But yeah, drop a line. Let us know what you would like to see. Suggestions or whatnot, contact us privately through this channel. Whatever it is, we will try to do this again, I believe next Monday, right?
Yeah.
If everything works out. And we appreciate all of you sticking around. I mean, for our first video, yes, we didn't hit any fantastic numbers of some of the OnlyFans influencers, but, you know, we had some people.
Hey, if you want, you know, tag him on his video, send him a link, talk shit about this video to his friends, spread it around there. If one person gets something productive out of this, that's the goal.
Yep.
Like if one person gets anything productive, like even aside from the razzing and the shit talk and whatever, if someone is a little bit safer, a little bit more competent, or a little bit more inspired,
or maybe has the right questions,
or has a question for us or for him, like my genuine question to that dude is like, have you ever thought some of these things through? Like, I don't know. Like, do you speak like without thinking sometimes? Like maybe that's where it is. Maybe it's purely like a clout decision. I don't know. But fucking post this link, fucking send it to his Facebook, go to his comments and fucking tell him to watch it, tell him to do a live stream. I think that would be cool. Like he seems like he's not completely retarded. Like contrary to what I've been saying earlier, like some of the shit, like some of the principles that he's espousing, I think are fucking retarded, but you can change. And so can I. Maybe I'll get something out of it too. Maybe I'll do a bill drill once. No promises.
I've seen Josh press the trigger. The dude is fucking fast.
Yeah. I can shred, but not with a beat.
He can definitely shred, man. He's ATF is probably gonna put him on the form.
Like, do you have to start the bill drill with your hands outside of your hoodie pockets?
Right.
Or no?
Right.
Can an entire bill drill come from your front left pocket?
It can. That's what I've heard.
So yeah, maybe that'll be a different. That'll be another episode on covert carry.
So another thing, just on like unrelated comments, is the Bodyguard 2.0 is the least shittiest 380 I've ever shot. Holds a lot of bolts. I totally agree. New development. So Pete Jr. with Defiant Munitions has informed
he has a 380.
Well, he not only has the best and only 380 ammo you should carry, the TCX solid copper.
I got one of the Bodyguards on recommendation from one of these guys, and I got it from Calvin. And so it had like three flat nose full metal jacket, 2 Hornady hollow points
from Calvin.
Did
it have part of a sandwich in there as well?
Everything. Yeah, a little bit of a sandwich. So I took all that out and I go to load it up with Defiant, and noticed it had extraction issue. And so I called Pete up and I was like, hey, do you know about this? Do you know what the deal is? Apparently the coating that they've put on their
the barrels
on the barrel takes that barrel out of SAMI spec for the ammunition. Yeah. So Pete does a service for Defiant customers that they can send, because he contacted Smith & Wesson. He's been around for a while. He knows.
Well, actually, they were on the Smith & Wesson team for a while together with Dave, Super Dave, right?
Yeah. And so Smith kind of knows what's going on, but Pete works closely with a barrel manufacturer out in Dakotas, and so he's doing a service where he will rechamber and recoat.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, since I visited Pete's shop, they're in the same building.
Yeah. So that's something. So the barrels for those 2.0s are out of SAMI spec. So that's something to be aware of. For most underloaded ammo, it's not going to matter. But when you've got the cartridge like the solid copper that's loaded well, and then copper taking up more space than lead, like he's limited it to as small as he can get it to still function. Not only does his bullet pass the FBI gel tests and all that stuff, like it's one of the very few 380s that does it, but also does it reliably. But the problem is with their barrel, not the bullets. So the problem, and then Smith & Wesson has acknowledged it, but it's just their barrel is out of spec for the good ammo. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't get a Bodyguard 2.0, but if you do, just be wary until the 2.1 comes out where they fix this. Like if you're a customer of Pete's, like his phone number is the one on the website. It's on all the business cards. Tell him we sent you, and tell him what the deal is. Like he'll take care of you. Like he'll explain to you more than what we can. What the problem is.
DefiantMunitions.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
DefiantMunitions.com. Calvin, they even put that shit in the mail and
Yeah,
said
that's right.
that they can't get it in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So we don't get Defiant in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Right.
Said, hey, I left good bullets.
Dudes,
All
2
right.
hours, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
We don't have any cool outro music or anything yet.
Not yet.
Just
We're working on it. We have
Josh will say something cool.
we have Maynard recording new music for us. He said to reach 1 million followers, and I'll record you an intro and outro. So subscribe, follow, share.
Something cool.